Hello, hello. Yes. So, Friday again. Back in Shiokawa. See if we can save the world, or at least unlock stuff. I finally did some reconnaissance. There's a part of me who doesn't like to do that. Just feels like cheating. But it's kind of good to know that there is a good few achievements. I'll lock behind other achievements, or just incredible randomness. So, and of course there's also the ones where you just have to click something on the screen. So we're gonna unlock some stuff today. The characters all seem kind of difficult though, I'm not gonna lie. Which are of course the most interesting ones. Learning that that there's an outer world encounter that I've yet to see is kind of funny. But of course in the grand scheme of things it doesn't change much. All in all, let's just start a new story. Now, I originally was thinking, because it's gonna be my last stream of the year, of 2023, you're seeing this at any point later than immediately. To be fair, not that likely. I wanted to do Timeline B, as I've been neglecting that one entirely so far. But then again, a good couple of unlocks. There's well, of course, there's some achievement unlocks that depend on Timeline A, some depend on Timeline B. Not that surprising, admittedly, but hey. Randomized for bad luck. And then we'll see. City of Shiokawa, Japan, 1980X. Something strange is happening in our town. Robed figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night. People are going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. The rapid technological progress of the modern era brings comfort, but also new unknown threats. Old gods, malicious eldritch beings who ruled the earth eons ago, are awakening as reality starts to crumble. Armed with clues, spells, and your dwindling sanity, you'll investigate mysteries across the city and in the realms beyond. But was it all just a fabrication of our writers, or was it indeed real? Welcome to the X Factor. Now, Haru... Oh, I don't actually remember. Did I manage to finish that playthrough with him? He had the katana. Oh, I don't recall. I don't recall at all. Well, we're gonna take him anyways. More funds, no human allies. 7th curve. Continue. Old gods are awakening. Your only chance of survival, solving 5 different mysteries. The end of the world is at hand. Somewhere, a group of people gathers, trying to awaken their master. We do have Zektusk, the horror from the stars, which is basically the color out of space. Or, well, that's probably putting it a little mildly. I do wanna... He's the only one we have not defeated yet, so let's try and... A big meteorite fell down on a field in the village near Shiokawa. Looking at the Japanese, but I don't need. I don't know how to read the kanji. I do, in theory, know all three of them, but I don't know how to read that word. A farmer who found it contacted researchers from Tokyo, but when they arrived, all they found was a wet puddle of pinkish goo. Every 21% doom lowers your stats by 1. Continue. So apparently just clicking the date. It's June now. So yeah, that's one quick. That's one quick way to get an achievement I didn't have yet. My home. Near the vending machine. Confirm and continue. Some library notes. That's the spell one, yep. Hard knock. So, what mysteries do we have? Inexplicably morbid events, yes, we know. Found footage. Freakish fable of a frightening flood. The peculiar painting. Memoir of morbid mermaids. And the writer of the wordless ward. I'd like the Fear Festival. Nightmare of Noisy Nails. Nightmare News of the Noisy Nails. Grieving Father. Oh, I already forgot about that one. The Abnormal Arms. The Mermaids. Fear Festival. And Flood. Fear Festival. Could probably deal with this one first. Or with the Stalker. Get a tiny key. Used to gain a cup or the... Yeah, let's go with the arms. The arms are easy. Arms in the Fear Festival. Alarming account of abnormal arms. I remember when it started. The woman next door was strangled to death in her bed with no sign of forced entry. The killer was never found, and the apartment remained vacant. The door to her apartment was closed and she lived alone. What other ways in are there? Maybe you can get the apartment plan to compare with the other flats. Sure. Let's go to the shop. Boop. New achievement unlocked. We surprised the dog. That's kind of I don't know. That's more intuitive to do. If you but playing with mouse and keyboard, I feel clicking on stuff with the controller is kind of awkward. Boop. Give me the flashlight, please. Might as well take that one along. Equip it. And to the vending machine we go. Buy some cigarettes. Buy more cigarettes, come on. And now, in theory, we should be able to... Nicotine rush. Nicotine rush. Smoke a cigarette and start coughing uncontrollably. New achievement unlocked. We have 30 of the damn things now. Be nice. I could have done this one earlier. I just didn't know how to do it. That using a packet would give you like 10 to 12 or something cigarettes. I believe it's a little more with Haro. So, oh, that's they're up here. Wow, I'm positively blind. Blind. Investigate downtown. But yeah, that's 3 quick achievements. That's some quick unlocks. Despite your best efforts, you feel like the neighborhood is starting to change. The threat level increases. Oh, did I? Oh, I did not get... I missed the illegal den. Damn it. The apartment is on the 3rd floor. There's no way somebody used the window to escape the murder scene. You shall find out. Stop by home to pick up your lunch. You find a pile of letters in your mailbox. Read the letters. Staying up late really increased your... well, thankfully, we had no money we could spend. You notice the odd placement of ventilation shafts. They seem too small for anyone to crawl through, though. Let's go hospital location twice. We should do that. Investigate. Also didn't give the nurse. Have some peace of mind. Nah, probably not. Give me draw of blood. Startle awake on a park bench. Did you faint? There's no sign of the grim man anywhere, but you find an envelope full of cash inside your pocket. I'm not really doing my best at trying to actually read all of these. Travel downtown. Shop for items. A steak knife, you say? Yeah. Not quite a carpenter hammer, but... and it's a dex weapon, which is unfortunate, but it's better than nothing. So. As you glance around, you notice that more and more people are wearing strange masks, unlike anything you've ever seen before. As you turn to your friends for reassurance, you notice that some also wear these eerie masks. Their voices sound muffled and distorted, and you can't shake off the feeling that they're not quite themselves. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, and you realize something is terribly wrong. Preparing for something. A sense of dread creeps over you as the masked people are swarming through the store, filling their carts with food and survival equipment. You notice the goods' prices have already skyrocketed. You realize that you need to act fast if you want to have any chance of survival. Rid of some funds. The Anatomical Museum archive displays a specimen of elongated arms and jellified bones. Ugh. Investigate apartments. You notice the odd placement of ventilation shafts. They seem too small for anyone to crawl through. Now we shall actually... Suddenly, it got really cold in the corridor. As you turn to leave, you're stopped by a man with unnaturally pale skin and giant lips. He kisses the air and takes a step closer. Jiggle. Sure. 70%. Could get 8 damage in. Oh, even could get 9 damage in. Gentle. He grabs me. Draws me in. So we shank him. Shouldn't you interview the neighbors? Maybe you'll discover something the police missed. Excuse me, do I have a moment to talk about our real Lord and Savior? The day of reckoning is coming, says the voice on the other side of the line. You definitely don't like the way the man on the other side of the line puts the accent on. Real. Are you there? Yeah, listen to him. Lose a reason, gain doom. Lose a doom. One neighbor's complaining about her missing underwear. Well, he just stabbed a gigolo. It's a bad time to be out of cash, says the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company fortunately specializes in cases like yours, and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, everyone has something to sell. Could sell him... Yeah, take some doom. So he traded free reason for 2 money. Another neighbor's complaining about weird noises coming from the vents when she's at home. What could it possibly be? You wake up in with a semi-translucent membrane covering both your eyes. Increasing terror, you realize that you no longer need your eyes to see. Hey. Aren't we the best? Check the building plan to find out if there is a place where all the vents connect. Sure. Do that. Do it. While looking around the ransacked room of your recently deceased friend, you discover a half-finished painting of a woman, her skin a ghastly pale yellow. The scene is disturbing. You struggle to look at it. Intimidated by the painting, you're haunted by nightmares. Lost a lot of reason there. You enter the dark boiler room and trip over the pipe. Cursing, you find a light switch, and gasp in horror, it's not the pipe at all. It's a long, rubbery arm coiling around the room and ending in a ventilation shaft. Coming closer, you can smell something vile and rotten. Ugh. You almost fall to the ground when you see the wide-open stare of the dead pervert, his elongated arms stretching and limbs and stretching and disappearing into the vent's darkness. Inside his mouth, you find a tiny key. After police arrive, the whole building gets searched. Following the arms, the detectives find the body of a man stuck in a ventilation shaft. Later, he is identified as a building's caretaker. In his closet, police find pieces of underwear and voyeuristic photos of the tenants. You are questioned thoroughly and eventually released as the murder case is being covered up as a case of an unfortunate gas leak. Hey. We did stuff, but we lost. We had just enough doom to lose a stab. The air feels heavy, making it hard to breathe. Rest action is less effective. Inside your mailbox, you find a small key. Let's take a bath. Gain some reason. It's not like we're gonna need it or anything. Still in a rush. So that's arms. Fear Festival. Yeah, sure. Fear Festival. Your aunt has sent you a letter inviting you to a curious-sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree. You need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter, there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen? You ask yourself as you board the bus. Investigate. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village, and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. Let's go to the room. Yeah, we can click this. Wait, what's that? Check out the painting. The inn's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table. What's with the painting? You freeze in terror as something on the painting moves. There's a hole in it. Are you being spied on from a nearby room? Achievement unlocked. Check out the inn. Worried and furious about the hole in the wall, you enter the inn from the back, trying to find a room that connects with yours, thinking you finally found it. You entered and... all the walls are covered with blood and gore. Someone has scribbled weird symbols everywhere. Spot something on the nightstand. There's too much fresh blood to tell what it's... Pick up the thing. It's the Carcosa mask. For a second there, you were worried it was skull you had in your hands. But, as you wipe more blood off, it's clear you've picked up a weird-looking mask. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed, when suddenly, the moon comes from behind thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, the light of their torches disappears behind the trees. What was that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Should you follow them into the forest, or try to find more information about the festival? Oh. Could maybe go to the onsen. Stamina. Hope for a little bit of reason, to be honest. Still some time. Yeah, enjoy the festival. Hey, there, would you like to test your luck in this fine game? Buy 2 tickets. A special prize for you. See a map of the village. One building is marked with a red circle. Follow the village map. Do it. Not ready to go there yet. But, no. Don't know what it wants for me to do in that moment. Friends, it's getting late. Eva, spare me some time with me? Yes. Help your friend. Zaroku. No? It's not safe here. Going back to the inn, you overhear 2 masked strangers. They are talking about something, awakening at the next dawn. Oh. Yeah, it just got me for doom, for nothing. Don't mind me, I'm just an idiot. Which map? No? Nothing. I'm not ready to go there. Or is it a quick way to get to the facility? Just investigate the street, have a look around. Feel hungry. You've entered a small local restaurant and ordered a daily special made with today's catch. Just where the hell did those fishermen go? Yeah, 1 bite won't hurt. Feeling the eyes on the restaurant's guests on your back, you take a small bite of the smelly seafood. It's surprisingly good, but you kindly refuse another serving. Explore the forest. It's a bad time to be out of cash. Oh, he's so persistent. Oh, everyone's dead. Is that blood? Trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to the outskirts of the village. Somewhere in the dark forest. There's an answer waiting for you. Okay. Trees overhead block the sunlight and you begin to feel gloomy. Ain't that too bad. Following a trail of rotten fruit, you stumble on a small forest shrine. It's probably dedicated to some local spirit. Small statue looks alien and menacing. Smash it! Topple the evil-looking statue. Nothing seems to happen, but you have a terrible feeling about it. Oh. Start to recognize parts of the paths and rocks you've seen earlier. Parasitic organism burrows under the bark, undulating slowly. Cut it open. Cut the tree and quench your thirst with the dark rat sap. Hey, we healed. COC. Art knowledge? It's probably the one thing I can sensibly use. Some reason. Ah, it's gonna be morning now. Walking through the woods, you discover a sweater. It's torn apart and covered in blood. But where is the owner? Oh, isn't this an event for one of the characters? Assume the worst. A wild beast must have killed the poor person. Say a quick prayer before continuing. You need the outdoorsman perk to get that? The alternate for that or something? Enter the overgrown factory. The sun is slowly rising as you get closer to the abandoned industrial building. Cautiously enter the factory. Can help but notice the forest has become totally silent. You are not the only one trying to stop the ritual and save your friends. Special forces have raided the occult hideout, arresting the suspects. Led outside, the handcuffed cult leader suddenly stops. You are too late. Our Lord is free once more. It's unfortunate. Later that day, after an interrogation, the detectives let you go free. Festival guests are still missing to this day. You board the old bus, wondering what exactly happened out there. Nope. No idea. The lighthouse has gotten taller. It is indeed taunting me. Take the key. Take a bath. A bath. Get the reason. Take the bath. Get the reason. The Kokosa mask now at our disposal. Local police are helpless as more and more victims turn them in the downtown area with their throats slashed. What's the number? So, what is it like? Oh yeah, achievement unlocked. But that's all. Start a new mystery. The mermaids, the flood. Noisy. Let's do the nails. The morbid killing spree continues as another body is found in the city's river. Every victim shares one common trait. Their finger and toenails are missing. They've been pried off. Why nails? Could the killer have a hidden motive? Are they sending a message? You must hurry up before they claim another victim. You have a gossip. If no leads, a trip to the police station could be useful. Your friend's cousin works there and she could help. Time is of the essence, so you decide to take a shortcut through the abandoned building site. To the school. Gossip? Did you hear there's a cliff nearby with strangely shaped holes? Hadn't been the same since you came back. How did you do in your English exam? What English exam, woman? Let's look around. The road seemed to twist and turn. They're not looking, trapping you in this neighborhood. Spend hours trying to find a way out. Finally, completely exhausted, you end up on the main street as the passage to the blighted neighborhood slowly closes behind you. Hurrah. Reluctantly, your friend's cousin gives you a photocopied file. You thank her and leave quickly. The school building seems like a safe place to study the file. Got any gossip? You're doing your English exam. That's not gossip. It's been hard to get any sleep lately. Overheard my parents talking about a horrible accident. They say that a girl's father went mad from grief. Yes, Miss Innocent came back. That's the one, eh? Could the killings have anything to do with the father who has lost his daughter in an accident? Oh, I did gather gossip last time as well. The corridor is flooded by a black sludge that's slowly oozing from underneath the door of the chemistry classroom. A damp, moldy stench grows as you get closer. How are you going to get to the other side? Just walk. You see a sudden movement near your ankle, just in time to jump away from something trying to bite your leg. You make it safely to the other side. My ultimate perception. The victims of the serial killer seem to be chosen randomly. There's no obvious pattern in regards to age, sex, or education. You should continue your search in a hospital where the victims are. There's a killer encounter. Oh no. On your way to the next destination, you stop the tall man wearing a dirty kabuki mask. He is talking to a woman and slowly reaching into his pocket. Alert her! Why? You sight tag quickly and run between the pair, screaming. The panicked woman flees, but the masked man grabs you by the neck. Before you can protest, he takes a pair of pliers out of his pocket and rips one of your nails. Why? Minus 1 stamina. Why? You try to sneak into the mortuary, but the hospital staff is on high alert. You decide to wait a mere bit. Maybe you'll manage to find a way in. Maybe. Let's try. Let's have a look. Someone has been branding the patients with occult symbols. Like cattle. Preparing a feast for the Eldritch Master. Another stat. Lost to the ages. I mean, quite a lot. One of the mortuary technicians acts strangely. He has left the building and returned twice already. Each time he comes back, an ambulance of a new victim arrives. Another killer encounter. You're stopped by a tall man wearing a dirty kabuki mask. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Give me your fingers. Try to run. Managed to run from the masked man. You notice the man keeps his hospital key in his back pocket. If you could steal it, entering the hospital will be much, much easier. Sure. Then you enter the metro car, you notice an oddly shaped package on the seat opposite of you. It's marked with your name. You reach for the package but hesitate. Yeah, examine it. Come on. Oh. It's not until you've unwrapped it that you understand what it is. Shocked, you let it fall to the floor from your bloodied hands. Aww. Oh, I'm sorry. You excuse yourself after bumping into the man. He frowns and hurries away, but noticing that you've managed to steal... Without noticing that you've managed to steal his hospital keys. Flying through. You find yourself in an old, unused part of the hospital. Take a deep breath. The disgusting smell of thawed remains still lingers in the room. Or being watched. It used to be the hospital's mortuary, where doctors determined the cause of death. Sure, check out the freezer. Take a peek into the freezer, but can't seem to see anything important. You wonder what could smell so awful if there is nothing inside. Nearby, the body on the dissecting table twitches slightly. The horror of countless autopsies stands before you. Yeah. Oh, she's... 6 damage, 3 damage. Can't run from this encounter. It's like, I needed this money. It's getting dark and a suspicious man has not returned yet. Now is your only chance to check out the mortuary and learn about the serial killer's victims. Using the hospital key, you've managed to enter the mortuary floor unnoticed. The hospital floor is eerily quiet, and you prepare your weapon, wondering what's going to happen next. The whole room has a pungent, irritating smell you can barely stand. All the dissecting tables are empty, and you're afraid you think where the bodies are now. You must hurry up before the suspected killer returns back. Stand a nail. Leave the room. The masked man jumps from behind the door, and you barely dodge his blade. Can't let you leave this room. Going to become his last victim. Just do stamina. Stamina's fine. You have loads of stamina. It's like 9 damage. Stabs you with his knife. What? Damn. He just crit the hell out of me. Ah! Gonna kill us. He means business. The dreaded Kabuki killer finally falls to the ground, dead. You alert the hospital staff, and soon the whole floor is swarming with police. After a brief interrogation, you are free to go. 2 questions still remain. What did the killer do with the nails of his victims? And who broke the mortuary window and fled before the cops arrived? The old god stars. Crimson Moon. Everything's stronger now. A key in my mailbox. No stamina. We are alive. Kinda. Irizumi. Things cheaper. These aren't great. Quick thinking's a little better. It's like I really didn't want to use the didn't want to rest. Found the nails, the mermaids, and the festival. Festival's probably also going to be rough. Mermaid in a manhole. The janitor was obsessed with mermaids. He collected every scrap of the legend about them in his school basement. Now his mind has snapped. He's decided it's time to make one of his own, using unfortunate students' bodies as materials. There's one thing everyone at the school is talking about. Another girl from the area has gone missing. Could there be anything connecting all the missing people? I should investigate downtown. It's like, sure. Yeah. It's not really safe. The pair has been following you since morning. You finally managed to lose them. But can't shake the feeling. It'll only get worse. Asking around the neighborhood got you some results. Seems that all the girls attended the same school. Investigate. Store shouldn't be there. Shouldn't lead anywhere. And it shouldn't pull you in. Slowly, you enter the unknown. Lost in time and space, you drift in nothingness until something pulls you towards the light. The Upper Kingdom, and that's the one with you need the chalice for, which we could have even gotten with the tiny key. No priest to harvest. The blood is slowly flowing into the valley. Deserted temples overlook the giant corpses of the forgotten beasts. With no priests to harvest it, the blood is slowly flooding the valley. Jump right in. You take a step into the pool of blood. The crimson liquid burns your skin through your clothes. Besides the boiling blood, something else rushes into your ear canal. The voices of countless scholars revealing forbidden secrets. Hey. Yeah. Resisting the unknown horror was taking its toll on your health. Weakened, you finally succumb to your injuries. Alone. As the dust settles upon your open eyes, reality starts to crumble. 5 new achievements, though. Incoming Doom, 52%. Well, task failed successfully. 47 achievements unlocked. 30 cigarettes, foreign cigarettes. Discover a hole in the painting, glass eye. Dog traits. We had that one before. Backstab a follower, that one's still open. During combat, prepare to... Nope. Where is it? Let the real jury in. For followers, nope. It's around here somewhere. Call Junko. Threat of fate. Change the date and stop the curse. A monkey wrench. Haru's still missing. It's victory. Boop! Innocent student. That's all that. Ultimate opportunist. Need 3 more achievements. Do something. So... we now have a reliable way to get a Carcosa mask. I do need a ritual robe. So... let's just... go again. Continue. Randomize for bad luck. Wasn't looking half bad, was it now? Still rope man, technology and old gods. An old train slows down and stops at its last station. The end of the world is at hand, and you finally arrived in the doomed town. Haru can do it. Don't want to ill-fate it. Hunted by the cults, maybe. Maybe something to do. Yeah, let's get hunted by the cult. Continue. More Zektost. Always with the meteorites. This game, we are hunted by the cult. I know. Now, I do want your cult shop. Maybe have it like this for Haru? So that's fine. Confirm and continue. Someone crammed your mailbox full of animal entrails. They know. I also missed out on the 5 exp from bathing. More library notes. What you got? Ramen, the botanist again, Crimson Cape, Violent Vigil, and the Fear Festival. It's an easy way to get my hands on the robes. Rotten report of rancid ramen. Out of thin air, a brand new ramen restaurant opens in town. It's adored by everyone. Once people take a bite, they can't stop. Day and night, the queue stretches out the door. The shambling customers stuff themselves with dish after dish, while the blind owner sits silently behind the counter, grinning and polishing his gleaming knives. You're determined to discover what makes this ramen so enticing. What is its true power? Dog meat? Human meat? The flesh of the gods themselves? Watching the local news, you spot a familiar street. It's a feature about the newest ramen shop. The food critic has a manic look as he describes the ramen. His description makes your stomach churn. Occult shop, please. The ritual robe. I need it. I need it. I'd also like a dagger. Ritual dagger. Oh, free funds. Can I sell these? Probably not. Oh yeah, I can. I'll take the dagger. It's not going to be great for him. We have a dagger, we have a robe. It would have been ideal if we had the household hell one. So we could actually sacrifice one of our interpret followers, which we might gain this time around. Investigate the apartments. Oh, we're gonna get antagonized by a painting again. While looking around the ransacked room of your recently deceased friend, you discover a half-finished painting of a woman, her skin a ghastly pale yellow. Unintimidated by the painting, it gives you new insight into madness that possessed your friend. Shall not be intimidated by a painting. Oh, someone is advancing on me. Small, four-legged and furry. Morning. Why did I clear that off the table if you just jumped down immediately? Dumpster dive. I need 2 items that ideally are in cigarettes. Can see the restaurant through the staircase window. You watch the door for hours, but never see any of the cooks enter nor leave. Could get a quick curse for a bit of money. Investigate apartments. Oh, Telephone sounds and multiple voices are too loud for you to ignore. When you enter the apartment, everything turns silent. It is the Gossip Junkie. It's fairly slow. Guaranteed 6. Decent odds at 8. Nice. Come on, you can do it. Nah. Every time. Every time. Every time I stop believing in you, Haru, you disappoint me so. Cat wants attention. Oh. Sure. It's always a disturbance of some sort. Oh, the only true way to investigate is to get to the restaurant yourself. Well, let's try. As you prepare a bath, you think about all the possible leads so far. You're very tired, so maybe ice-cold water is a good idea. Sure. Nope. Your body clearly wasn't prepared for a cold bath and can feel a cold coming on to stamina. It seems that you are not the only one wanting to try it for yourselves. You stand in line for hours. Your questions fall on deaf ears and you're shunned. That's not nice. Cat now wants the gamepad. So, it's a bad time to be out of cash. That's the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company, fortunately, specializes in cases like yours, and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, he steps closer, and you could swear there's a faint smell of rust around the man. Everyone has something to sell. Yeah. Yeah, have a jar of blood. Startle awake on a park bench. Did you faint? There's no sign of the grim man anywhere, but you find an envelope full of cash inside your pockets. Just a moment. Can't say no to a cat. The smell around the restaurant is overpowering. Grease, rot, and... is that blood? Oh, what? Got something to say? Well, thanks for pushing it back, I guess. Don't eat it, please. Something cheap. Not really. Should have gone to the dog, bought some salt. Get an energy drink. Let's check out the... something's wrong. You don't see anyone in the street. You could sworn it was crowded just a minute ago. You better hurry out of here. Resolve the event. It's finally your turn to order. One ramen, please. The owner's grin widens. Oh, come on, just... You can get stamina, knowledge, or money. Give me money. Oh, hallucinations. I don't mind those. I like them. They're nice. They're friendly. They're nice to me. Buy another one. And sure. It's 4 money down the drain. You sneak into the alley in the dead of night, gagging. You look through the restaurant's garbage. It's all vile pulp, though a few chunks of meat look like promising samples. Can we eat it? Disgusting. Now let's give me my bowl. My bowl of ramen. You again. It's a bad time to be out of cash, says the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company, unfortunately, specializes in cases like yours, and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, everyone has something to sell. Sell some reason. Everything suddenly gets dark. You feel sad, but can't even tell why. In your pocket, you find an envelope of cash. The red bowl is pushed in your face. It's so crowded that you're forced to sit on the floor. Can hear faint sobbing sound coming from an alley nearby. There you approach a man on his knees. You take a step closer. He suddenly stops and perks up. You can hear the nauseating sound of tearing skin. 20. We're just not... If we use this, just get a quick hit in. Doesn't change for now. It's good damage, which means he's gonna miss both. Yeah. Oh, he hit the big one. Oh, great. With a slick hand, you fill a vial with the soup and walk out, all without tasting the weird dish. With the pulling of some delicate strings, you get the ramen into a lab. While handing over the gathered materials, you hesitate. What should you send? Send both. You look at the charts and cannot believe your eyes. While the standard test didn't detect anything weird, adding drops of human blood revealed something horrible. Whatever this thing is made of, it's alive, beating a soft pulse against the glass. Your friend leaves you with the papers, muttering an excuse and preparing to flee town on the next train. Understandable. Have a nice day. Prepared for a fight, you march down the restaurant. However, you find no eldritch horror to duel. Instead, you're shocked to find nothing but a gap in the street. You ignore the distraught customers, still lining up where they remember the entrance. Investigating the grounds, you see something glistening where the kitchen used to be. Cautiously, you look at the chunk of meat, and then jump back with a yell. As it flexes, it opens a very eye, grins and wanders off, and stubby black claws. You walk home shaken. In your head, you hear the weird ramen breathing in its bowl. You only stop to throw up on the street. It's nice. The whole town stopped receiving outside signal. Oh yeah, that's right. There's also the... there's actual reasons to watch TV. Do 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 do. Should stamina reason? Probably reason. Anyways, let's go de-stress after that at the festival. The far-out fable of a fear festival. Your aunt has sent you a letter inviting you to a curious-sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree. You need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen? You ask yourself as you board the bus. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. Continue. Now, there is the painting. Check out the painting. The inn's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival, 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table. You freeze in terror. Something on the painting moves. There's a hole in it. Someone's spying on you. Check out the staff area. Worried and furious about the hole in the wall, you enter the inn from the back, trying to find the room that connects with yours, thinking you finally found it. You enter and all walls are covered with blood and gore. Someone has scribbled weird symbols everywhere. You spot something on the nightstand, but there's too much flesh and blood to tell what it's from. The gore is too much for your stomach. When you finally compose yourself, you grab the thing. For a second, you were worried it was a skull you had in your hand. As you wipe more blood off, it's clear you've picked up a weird-looking mask. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything, and yet ready to go back to bed when suddenly the moon comes from behind the thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind the trees. What's that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Should you follow them into the forest or try to find more information about the festival? Clearly. Have a look around. Oh, it's the bloody sweater again. Assume the worst. The wild beast must have killed this poor person. Say a quick prayer before continuing. Can we get some... Enjoy the festival. There! Let's get 2 tickets. A special prize for you all. Can I use them now? Now that I have both? I wonder. Folklore? Yeah. Sure. You're not ready to go there yet. Oh. I have to have a look what that actually it does. Investigation is taking a toll on you. And there go my stats. Going back to the inn, you overhear 2 masked villagers. They are talking about something awakening at the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. It's not safe here. Decide to block the entrance to your room with a nightstand. The festival's ending tomorrow and you can't be too careful. No? Nope. Take a step towards the perfect fall. Discover giant plush toy half buried in a ditch. Feeling uneasy, you take a step back, but it's already too late. Ideally, I'd be able to kill a couple of these, but... There you go. Weird sounds coming from the forest keeps you up at night. What could it all mean? No. What's relaxing gonna do? One of each. Okay. Why is everything quiet? Is that blood? A trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to the outskirts of the village. Somewhere in the dark forest, there's an answer waiting for you. Should it be resting at all? That's the question, isn't it? Come on, find the factory, please. It said a famous priest died on this rock. Perhaps his mysticism seeped into it. Tap into its power! You feel like you've attracted the attention of something terrible. Good job. Come on, find it. Please. A sudden storm forces you to find shelter in a nearby cave. Looking around, you discover strange markings on the cave walls. What could it mean? The overgrown factory. Hey, you have the perfect disguise. While exploring the factory, you are caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. They tie you up. They bring you to the cult leader. Oh. We knew you'd come. You hear a raspy voice. It's your aunt! Coming from behind the priest's weird mask. She signals towards the door behind him. Our master's waiting for a final blood sacrifice. Oh. Auntie. I have the same mask. I'm one of yours. Ah! Ah! Well, at least we managed. With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing their shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out are the beams of flashlights and the hands of police officers saving you from falling. Later that day, detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual, blood, and eldritch being. The village is abandoned, with no trace of blood anywhere. You were the only one seeing the ancient horror. While you couldn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate them, the people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual in time. Hey. Arcane Storm. Spells are more expensive. What is that doing here? So, that's my animal guts receiving content something. The botanist, Akamanto, and the vigil. It's like which one? Botanist, in theory, can be easy if we just let the plants kill him. Just run. Although I don't know what to do for ending A. Fungicide is killing him. Also not quite... At this point, I'm not quite sure which endings I'm actually missing. Individual. Ah, what the heck, just... Let's do it. You received an official-looking letter. What does a law firm from Tokyo want with you? We regret to inform you of the passing of our client and your grand uncle. His funeral will be preceded by an overnight vigil as per the client's request. There's an address and a list of people expected to arrive. You don't recognize any of the names. Intrigued, you decide to check it out for yourself. What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst indeed? Following directions from the letter, you slowly fight your way through the overgrown forest path. The old mansion looks like it was torn down and rebuilt many times. But where is everyone? Well, let's have a look. Let's find out. Barely dodging a knife swing, you fall to the ground. The short-haired woman giggles and takes a step back. Can't run from us, but you can't hide. Friend. Cultist Hunter A. She doesn't look too good. 77 time. Ah, that's horrible. Ugh, why are you so useless with this? If I'd done it like this from the start, I would have taken one less hit. Takes you some time, but finally you managed to find someone. Is that another guest? You should ask them what's going on. Oh, it's her again. Well, let's find the place, I guess. Cult members on your trail. You must hurry. Pressing a handkerchief to your nose, you enter the dark room. There's no way they allowed your granduncle to just lie there. What's the correct bow and clap order? What are we gonna ask? It's Sotomura. A muscular man is eyeing you as you take a step towards him. Sotomura-kun, Genki. Genki, Genki. Just pretend we know each other. Well, he has the... that looks like the same markings as the cult member in the picture from the event had, and he was wearing this mask, so... Can't help but notice a deep scar going across his neck. Well, thanks for the pamphlet. Pray over the body. Clap, clap, bow, bow. Bow, bow. Light up the fireplace. Burn an envelope. Clap, clap, bow, bow. He twitched. Think you got the order right. Just walk around a bit. It's a bad time to be out of cash. Well, just doom the world a little bit. All family members are gathered near the fireplace. You can tell everyone is waiting for dawn. We need to light up the fireplace. Come on, do it! Couldn't find any firewood to add to the fireplace. That's no good. I'll explore a little bit further. Following a suspicious person, you enter an old rundown mansion room. There's only 2 doors and it stinks like spoiled milk. One of which you came through. Can't see the strange man anywhere. Search the room. We find a library book. Oh. Well, use it. Midnight, you should go and pray. Really? Oh yeah. Bow, bow, clap, bow. He's gonna be gone. It's missing. Where is everybody? Oh, that's still normal. Seems that someone has already removed all the furniture. Overgrown plant is casting an interesting shadow. Still 12. Well, let's search around. Oh, get lost in the light. Blinding light is growing larger and larger. Feel the ground under your feet. Well, time and space you drift in nothingness. Till we are... well... that didn't go too well. Start climbing the temple. You spend what feels like days climbing the stone blocks. Reaching the top, you are rewarded with an imposing vista of countless pyramids and beings too big to comprehend. Something in you breaks. Manage to find one of the guests. They are shaken but otherwise safe. You both decide to get the hell out of this place. The door is gone. Casually. Which one is it? Yeah, it's Akane. Explore around a little more. Walking through the forest, you spot a pair of legs twitching off a bush. Before you can do anything, however, they twitch and move. A man-eating plant. 7 damage. I should just take 1 hit, shouldn't I? Oh, that's more damage than I bargained for. Oh, you defeated it. Core strength. Oh, outdoorsman. I think core strength. Core strength and stamina. Back to what we were. A perk. Corridors twist and turn, trapping you in the mansion. You think you can hear the other guests somewhere, but should you risk getting lost yourself? Burn an envelope found in the study. Open the envelope. You open the envelope, and you get flood of knowledge. Gain a spell. Oh, that's nice. Would be nice if I had an ally. I'll take the extra reason. So, gonna fight Sotomura now? Oh. No? I feel watched. Let's retreat. You stumble upon Sotomura, furiously scratching his scar. With each motion, he gets a little deeper. With each motion, more blood appears. With each motion, he steps closer towards you. He's not the strongest, is he? Shanked him. As the vigil is nearing its end, the whole mansion shakes more and more until the walls start to collapse, revealing the shocking truth about your whereabouts. Walls of the corridor collapse, revealing an alien landscape. You can taste blood in your mouth as the slimy appendages slowly get closer. A voice in your head tells you what to do. Explore. So I did something wrong. An unseen force leads your hands. You reach for a knife and stab the guest. Now you can only conclude the ritual. The price is paid. A voice booms in your head as everything gets dark. When you wake up, you find yourself lying on the wet grass, the old mansion nowhere to be seen. Standing next to you is a naked, bloated old man. You recognize a tattoo on the man's toe. It's your deceased granduncle. With a coarse voice, he explains the ritual. You try to keep up with him, but you're weak and your head spins. The death toll must remain the same. 2 die, 2 survive. You feel like vomiting as the old man who has cheated death disappears behind trees. Everything gets dark. It's not what I wanted to do, but it's what I did. The man who you fought was your uncle has cheated death, making you an accessory to murder. Again. Once again. Like most of my characters. You know the police officers won't believe you when you tell the truth, and you do your best to forget the nightmares you left behind. Got some stuff. The library's closed down, yeah. That's fine. 79. Some reason. I should probably do the botanist to get that one resolved. Oh, technical issues? Oh. A moment. I think I know what's going on. There's always something. Always something. Yes. Do the botanist. Your neighbor asks you for help. Her husband, Shiro-san, has gone missing. She's worried it might be connected with the new fertilizer you ordered from Tokyo. Where is he, and why would he need so much fertilizer? Ain't that the question? So, I've got a business card of a gardening company where the missing man was working. Maybe some of his colleagues could tell you something useful. Sure. Through a dirty restaurant window, you notice a shady-looking man wearing a jacket covered in strange symbols. He stops in front of a house, visibly nervous. Before he enters the house, he turns around as if he's checking for any unwanted followers. What could it mean? What could it mean? Call the police. The police thank you for the tip and promise to keep an eye on the house. They give you a reward. Hey, we're the best. Which affords us some cigarettes. Bottled water. A soft drink. Yeah, it's gotta be cigarettes. Shiro-san has always been a weirdo, but he's good at what he does. Last month he ordered a pack, an extreme experimental fungicide from Tokyo. I think I've seen the dispatch order with an address somewhere. The old man says, it's a little disjointed, help me move this dirt and I'll look for it. Let's just quickly have a smoke. I do think I want a thorough investigation. A tall woman with unsettling face and twitching lips stops you. I'll be your biology teacher. Could you help me move stuff to my new office? We'll help her. Get smacked by formalin. The creepy substitute teacher hands you dusty old biological specimens. The rancid smell of formalin almost makes you drop the jaw. Luck check. Oh. Falls like something like strength. We'll investigate again. The gym. Suddenly, a window behind you breaks with a bang. Startled, you notice a masked man, hunting rifle in his hands. Silent and calm, the man loads another bullet. 5 stamina. That's not enough. This might just kill him. Let's hope for the best. Hey! A hunting rifle. An old rifle. A new yet undefined species of cordyceps fungus has been observed to infect rats. Infecting rats? Ooh. The Last of Us. Taking over their bodies. Could it have the same effect with other mammals? I don't have any bullets though. Damage 5. Shooting stuff for 32 is just funny. Shiro-san's always been a weirdo. Now shovel that dirt. Doit. Shovel the doit. Walking through the park, you find a little girl crying alone on the playground. When you ask what's wrong, she says that she can't find her mommy. Luckily, you spot a girl's address on a backpack lying nearby. If I take her home, I'm gonna get a door smushed into my face, so let the police handle it. Lose the reason. You tell the girl to wait while you look for an officer. When you get back, she's gone. While the dispatch order is stained with a foul-smelling liquid, you think you can make out the address, at least parts of it. The house is somewhere in the nearby forest. Investigate the village, then. You walk through the village, crops as they wave in the breeze, following your every movement. It's dark and you don't remember the trees growing so close to each other. That's no good. Shape shimmers beneath the surface. With a splashy sound, something emerges from the murky depths. It's the leech girl. %80 hit chance. Nice. That was a good one. Yakuza card, Irazumi. Oh, these are not great again. Additional slot becomes available in all shops. Take the Doom hit. Quick thinking instead. One thing we're really solid at is our Doom currently. Forest. Trail of rotten fruit. You stumble on a small forest shrine. It's probably just dedicated to some local spirit. Smash it. Top of the evil-looking statue and discover a bundle of money. The thicket. Parasitic organism burrows underneath the surface of the tree. All nearby trees are connected underground. The main branch leads east. Make a mental note to avoid the region. Can cut it open with a steak knife, but not with a ritual dagger. Something about standards, I take it. The forest. Drooping tree branches hang over the path, framing it in an almost macabre way. It's almost inspiring. Get a grip. Quicken your pace and leave the menacing path. The feeling that you're being watched, and when you hear a branch snapping, you quickly turn around. There's someone standing by the trees. The decomposing skin and vacant stare can only mean one thing. It's a corpse someone has propped up. The idea that someone could do it so close to you and so quietly makes you shudder. Following the ghastly music, you find yourself in a forest. The sound is getting closer. The ribcage woman. 2 stamina. Maybe we can... Hey, just shank her. Getting some reason back. Half-eaten deer carcass. Hearing some rustling behind you, decide to hide behind a tree. There you spot 3 men, each armed with a rifle. They are obviously looking for something, or someone. Reveal yourself. Hey, as far as it's not safe at this hour, what are you doing here? Try to ask about the dagger. Just hand you a flashlight and point you to the nearest road. Something tells you should leave and not get in on the nerves. Flashlight's probably better than the mask at this point. Spiritual actions. I'm gonna regret it the moment I get to fight a spirit, but hey. The trees overhead blocking sunlight and you begin to feel gloomy. I really just walked around this, didn't I? Finally! Yep, after what felt like hours of following the dirt road, you find the old mansion. Finally. It's completely overgrown with plants you've never seen before. In front of the mansion there's a gardening company minivan filled with boxes. Slowly enter the building with caution. You stand in the middle of the room and suddenly the floor gives way and you fall down to the basement. Falling through the hole in the floor, you find yourself in an overgrown basement. In the corner lies a man you recognize. It's Shiro-san, the missing gardener. You must help him escape this cursed place. Or not. We know he's fungus. Could just... They're attacking you, must protect the injured Shiro-san. Yes. Well, just run. Let the plants get him. Plants attack the gardener. Bye, Shiro. Mr. Fungus Man. We know you're truly a mushroom person. Extra doom, that's not too bad. Vines whip you, covering your exposed skin in deep lacerations. You cry in pain, dropping the body of Shiro-san. There's no way you'll be able to save him. With a heavy heart you run, leaving the man you were supposed to protect behind. Well, we do get a full exp. Doom down, doom up. The old god stirs, what is it? The road's closed. That's fine. There we go. One more bath. Extra stamina, please. You wash the blood off. And there's only Akamanto left to deal with. You can do it, Haru. Hopefully. I have to buy some cigarettes. Giant Chronicle of a Crimson Cape. A new game is spreading amongst your friends. A dare to stay in the unused school restroom after classes. A dare to meet Akamanto. What was originally harmless fun has turned deadly. The body of a boy was found last week. The school principal has banned the game, but that's only made it more popular. Akamanto must be stopped before another kid is killed. One of your friends says he doesn't believe in curses, and he intends to complete the dangerous dare. Yeah, that's not great. I do want to gossip. English exam. Someone's not come to school. And Agamanto asks you which paper you want. You must refuse everything. Sorry to get any sleep lately. Oh, do you want to help? Nope. You? Nope. How about you? Or you? Yeah. I've heard some versions of the legend. Everyone agrees you can't take anything the man offers you, though. He'll just shank you. We're close to losing another group of stats, sadly. But can't really prevent it, so we might as well just get some more cigarettes for later. Immediately enters withdrawal. Pair has been following you since morning. You finally managed to lose them, but can't shake the feeling that it will only get worse. Oh. Let's do it. Reported it to your principal, who promises he will take care of it. If your friend's safe for now, you should look into the legend. Maybe records in the city's library make mention of Akamanto. Yeah. You know, they kinda do, kinda don't. Pleasantly surprised to meet your old friend who's waiting for a train. She's undoubtedly changed a lot since last you've seen her. These days she's moderating a web forum dedicated to the paranormal. So what's that about? In between conspiracy theories and Bigfoot sightings, you hear worrying rumor that an old god slowly awakening to rule the earth once again. Could this be the reason for recent horrific events? You read a story about a vengeful samurai, known for wearing a crimson red cape. It's an interesting find for sure, but you need to find more information. There goes our stat block. Ritsuko-chan was the most promising athlete in her school. When she suddenly disappeared, the case was quickly closed without any suspects. Today, she finally dug herself out. Still 6 and 5, but we've become slower. Still, how about no? It's Akamanto to deal with. One of the articles mentioning the young doctor who performed life-saving surgery on a victim of the brutal assault. The assault happened in a toilet stall. Maybe he still works at the hospital and can share some information. Oh, not you again. It's a bad time to be out of cash, he says for the 17th time. Yeah, have some. Take the Doom. Doom is our least issue currently. Learn the doctor suddenly left the hospital after the latest murder, taking all the records with him. Why would he do that? It's not the only news. A friend didn't come to school today, and another body has supposedly been found. Slightly concerning. Stand in the middle of the baseball field, built back when the school had a team. It's slowly become overgrown, and students only go here for study or relax. Suddenly, something feels very wrong about this place. You can't quite put your finger on it. What's wrong? Perception failure. Break into a cold sweat. A baseball field shouldn't have this many bases. Are those graves? The natural conclusion to come to, apparently. Principal has ordered the school to be closed down for investigation. Let's go shopping. Investigation is starting to take a toll on your health. You feel like you're about to fall asleep standing up. How do you address the weakened state? Buy a coffee? You break the window and get inside the school unnoticed. The cursed toilet is located on the 3rd floor. Get over there. Run. The trail going cold, it might be time for a different approach. Could a similar case have occurred in the past? A trip to the library might be a good idea. Yeah, let's do it. Knowledge check success. Near closing time, you stumble upon a curious article on the last page of the local paper. Copy the office name along with the address before getting ready to leave. Dominexp. What do we get? More COC training. Art knowledge, probably art knowledge. Oh, which one's gonna be worse is the question. There's no turning back now. You step into the last stall and close the door behind you. You wait in the stall, trying to be as quiet as possibly. Suddenly, squish squeak. You hear the sound of rubber boots on an unknown liquid, as an unknown liquid drips on the tiles. Squish squeak. You can see the top of his head. He's taller than any man you've ever seen. Squish squeak. The door slowly opens. A masked man dressed in a red coat, clearly too tall for the ceiling, emerges from outside. Tell me, would you like red paper or blue paper? Nothing, please. It's getting darker. The tall man in the red coat slowly takes their mask off. As the stall walls wither and rot, reality starts to crumble. Naturally, that's him. It's like guaranteed hits. Just a little too slow. Like this? Ah, missed. No, it did hit. It did hit. Come on, Haru. Can do it. Nice. Hey. Took a beating. When you wake up, you find yourself back in the toilet stall, thinking it was all a dream. You stand up, only to hear the crack from under your shoe. There lies a broken crimson mask. Akamanto might return one day, but now you know the ancient horror can be defeated. The old god stirs. Price hike! That doesn't matter. Let's go home. Let's have a shower. And as long as we manage to actually get up the lighthouse, that should be... We have investigated all the mysteries. Let's go to the lighthouse. The ominous lighthouse has been closed down for longer than you can remember. Enter the lighthouse. Open all the locks. Enter the lighthouse. Now, as far as I know, resting here is fine. We'll see. 10 and 11 is good. Following a winding staircase, you are stopped by darkness. The thick black cloud is obscuring your vision, and you can swear something is waiting for you inside. Light the way. 10x. Climbing the staircase, is stopped by a masked man wearing an expensive suit. The rules have changed, kiddo. That's doom. Oh. Oh yeah, just stab him. Would have needed handcuffs. Following the winding staircase, you're stopped by a metal gate. The tiny page nailed to the gate explains that opening the gate will require to grab 2 metal rods, using your own body as a natural conductor. Yeah... Nothing we can do about that. Don't have the knowledge. Following a winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. It's locked, but you notice an electrical cable. It seems to connect the door to a hole inside the central pillar. If there's a switch inside, you'll have to risk getting cut by numerous glass shards and knives. We'll have to get cut. Come on. Following the winding staircase, you're stopped by... Wait a minute. Someone's broken into your apartment, stole all the clues and newspaper clippings, and pinned them here. The more you study them, you discover you can't remember any of them. Except for one. The second mystery was the Fear Festival. Started with the ramen, did the Fear Festival, then the Vigil, and then the botanist. That is correct. And we did it without resting. Clearly we're an outdoorsman. This point might as well take stamina again. And Haru has also completed his first victory, finally. The next day everything feels like a bad dream. Managed to stop the ritual awakening the Eldritch God. What's done is done. We'll stir into slumber again and again, until the stars are right once more. Deprived us of the ending cutscene. Well, we can call it that. 3 new achievements. Took about an hour. So that's 1 victory for each of them. We currently have unlocked. Shouldn't that also be 50? That is 50. So this is gonna unlock next run. It starts. The Midas Touch. No, glass eyes from the last run. Here the outfit for Haru. The Junko earlier. Challenge game mode. Challenges. Test yourself with a selection of challenges. It's gonna unlock more stuff. One last thing, a tall man left a suitcase for you this morning and said you will know the password. I wonder what could that mean. Oh, randomize for bad luck. Cake L. Surprisingly fitting. Still more strange stuff going on in Shiokawa. Going cold turkey. I think I've chosen the worst time to quit. Haru. No cigarettes. There's the presents. Special rule start with mind drain. Ghastly presence. All offensive combat actions. That's rough. Shoot was cancelled. You discover that every business in Shiokawa is closed. Or even moved out. Or all additional actions but rest are disabled for the duration of the playthrough. Okay. Mimi's little project. For each investigation I'll have to choose an experiment to perform. True believer. Cultist. We had a lot of Haru today. Let's just pacifist run. Goizo, the thing forsaken by God. Banished to the other dimension a long time ago, Goizo has found a way to use the mirror's turn snare and teleport his prey straight through reflective glass. The glimpses behind your reflection are just the beginning of a real nightmare. Go on mind drain. Regain 2 reason. Cost 1 max reason. Oh. Third eye. Oh, you just need a glass eye. We have a wind. Ghastly presence. So it was all standard offensive combat actions. Plus 4 max reason. You will have the option to run. So, what do I want? Standard stuff. Historical Society, History Club should unlock. Next time. What do we? Oh, I should. Before I do this. Complimentary XPs. An empty bottle. What do you got? Mermaids. The teacher. Sailors. A botanist. And the jellyfish. Well, Innsmouth Castle. Botanist should be easy enough. Bizarre brute of the blood-curdling botanist. Your neighbor asks you for help. Husband Shiro-san has gone missing. He's worried it might be connected with the new fertilizer he ordered from Tokyo. Where is he? And why would he need so much fertilizer? I've got a business card of a gardening company where the missing man was working. Maybe some of his colleagues could tell you something useful. Do I want... I guess I might as well have a chat on the schoolyard. See if someone wants to help. No, don't have time for games. No. Aw. Well, let's... I don't... Oh yeah, let's get lost in time and space immediately. Lost in time and space, you drift in nothingness until something pulls you towards the light. Oh, that's just kind of funny. I started today. I noted that it's kind of wild that there's still one of these outer world events that I hadn't seen yet at all. And now today is only the Upper Kingdom. Fuck. It's not the goblet, sadly, but just fill the container. Fill a container of the sacred blood. Bringing it back to reality is surely a corruption of all rights and won't do any good. It's a bottle of blood. Boiling blood, even. I might as well just... It's getting dark as you arrive at the cemetery. Shadows move in fantastic and unaccountable ways between the tombstones. Finding the right grave may prove to be a challenge, especially when you feel someone's gaze at your back. Oh, confront a stranger. You whirl around and see who's behind you. Luckily, the other person is a kind old lady who points you to the tombstone you were looking for. Under the stone, you find a note someone left for you. The address of a fungicide company. Shiro-san has always been a weirdo, but he's good at what he does. Last month he ordered a pack of experimental fungicide from Tokyo. I think I've seen the dispatch order with an address somewhere, the old man says. Help me move some dirt and I'll look for you. Are you talking to the graveyard keeper? Trying to make sense of it all. Walking through the park, you find a little girl crying alone in the playground. When you ask what's wrong, she says that she can't find her mommy. Luckily, you spot the girl's address on a backpack lying nearby. Let's take her home. Get a door hidden on her face. You offer to take her home. When you get there, the terrified mother slams the door in your face. From behind the door, she starts screaming to get the girl away. The little girl calmly tells you that she can take it from here. While the dispatch order is stained with a foul-smelling liquid, you think you can make out the address, at least parts of it. The house is somewhere in the nearby forest. Investigate. Investigate. No priest is performing a ritual to appease a local demon imprisoned underground. Sure. Knowledge check failure. I had knowledge. Distracted by a huge man wearing a demon mask, you have trouble following the intricate pattern of steps, bows, and claps. The ritual is a disaster. It's dark. You don't remember the trees growing so close to each other. The trees overhead block the sunlight, and you begin to feel gloomy. That's where it was last time. Exploring the forest is exhausting. It's getting dark, you decide to get back to the main road. But where was that? Are you lost? No, it doesn't take long for you to stumble upon a sign pointing you to the right direction. You really should be more careful in the future. Drooping tree branches hang over the path, framing it in an almost macabre way. Is it almost inspiring? Sure. You get completely lost in your thoughts. You wander around the woods for a long time, but you're sure to have some new leads in your investigation. A decent amount of experience. Follow the faint sound to a telephone line pole. The moment you notice giant hairy balls underneath it, they start to twitch and rise. Tatoru. Wasn't it like... Oh yeah, it's... just doesn't do anything. Could clap at him. Clap back. Alternatively, mind drain, but max reason loss. That's just kind of harsh. Bye. You have to go back. Fine. Hey. Finally, after what felt like hours of following the dirt road, you find the old mansion. It's completely overgrown with plants you've never seen before. In front of the mansion, there's the gardening company's minivan filled with boxes. Slowly, you enter the building with caution. Stand in the middle of the room, and suddenly the floor gives way, and you fall down to the basement. Falling through the hole in the floor, you find yourself in an overgrown basement. In the corner lies a man you recognize. It's Shiro-san, the missing gardener. You must help him escape this cursed place. Well, game, that's not exactly what I want to do. Like, run. I feel like I could take the beating for him a little bit. Doorway is still blocked. Don't remember how often you need to do that. Nah, let's just finish it. You've defeated Shiro-san. Yeah, we did it. Wines whip you, covering your exposed skin in deep lacerations. You cry in pain, dropping the body of Shiro-san. There's no way you'll be able to save him. With a heavy heart, you run, leaving the man you were supposed to protect behind. I mean, he's a fungus now, so... it's not like we could have saved him to begin with. A price hike, you say? A price hike. Take the key. We did something. Get some exp. Max stats anyway. Can we even do this? Moonlight Sailors. It's another one, just take the bad ending and just let them leave. Buy a tool, get the manhole up, maybe. Or burn down the school. I don't remember what I need to do for the alternate ending in that one. I'm gonna just take the easy one for now. Oh, cat's back. Sorrowful saga of the Moonlight Sailors. It began with one fisherman who dragged something truly awful from the belly of the ocean. A dark, writhing ooze that mesmerized him beyond control. He hid himself away for a week, adoring it, not to be seen until one moonlit night when a young girl spotted his boat drifting away. A single lantern swinging at the helm and the captivated fisherman singing eerily to his catch. Now more and more fishermen have begun to find the vile ooze in their nets, and one by one they are disappearing. Soon the ocean will have taken them all. It's got 2 items, yeah. I'm not doing that. What do I want to do ideally? Ah. Sudden growl coming from behind a corner makes you stop. It's a ghoul. Like, bye. Alarmed by the sound of glass breaking, you discover a corpse of a policeman lying in a pool of blood. It looks like someone or something tore out his throat. Check his wounds. They didn't tear out his throat, but instead carved an occult symbol of something sharp. You try to remember the shape and escape before they arrive. What can we get? Maybe just take Outdoorsman for the extra luck. Quick thinking might also be good. I guess I could take both, essentially. Yeah, sure. More luck. When you arrive at the fisherman's house, it stands long vacated. Peering in through the dusty window, you recoil in shock. Something's happened. Should try to get a crowbar or something. Well, there it is. It's also a monkey wrench. It should help with the opening of the manhole. Not gonna fight anyway, so yeah, let's buy something new. Schoolgirl lugging around a monkey wrench. Just a typical day in a doomed town. Following a suspicious person, you enter an old rundown mansion room. It stinks like spoiled milk and it has only 2 doors, one of which you came through. Can't see the strange man anywhere. Sure, look around. It's a book. The fisherman's wife lies in the kitchen, mutilated and covered with black marks. The ooze got jealous. Corpses strung up on wires like macabre marionettes with painted smiles and rosy cheeks. Surely someone else must have caught one of these. You look around hoping to spot one of them. Crabs are feasting on a bloated corpse carried to the beach by waves. Search the body, fight the crabs. Inside the man's pockets you find documents. They are strangely dry. Did the man really drown, or was he just brought here? The young man has glassy eyes and mumbles his replies as he caresses his catch. The beating movements of his arms disturb you. Stop! This is a crime scene! Halted by a sweaty police officer. Behind him, 2 other officers are packing something into black bags. What happened? You manage to catch a glimpse of an officer. He holds a glowing rock in his hand before packing it inside a bag. Could it be a meteorite the TV reporter talked about? You've got to return here later when the police are gone. After slow interrogation, the young man manages to stutter out something about an organized fishing trip. And nothing bad is going to happen. It's a statue. Something pulls you towards the beach. A statuette, half buried in the sand, is calling you. Feeling your hands shaking, you take a step closer. Take it home. It's a bad idea. It's surprisingly heavier than it looks. Mesmerized to take it home and wonder where you'll display it. It's mine now. You slip out at night and race towards the beach, terrified of what comes next. The full moon shines bright in the cloudless night sky. The ink-black ocean waves glimmer eerily. All the residents have drawn their shutters tight and locked their doors. Your footsteps are silent in the sand. The only audible sounds are your ragged breathing and pounding heartbeat. You arrive at the water's edge, breathless. The possessed fishermen's boats fill the horizon with their light, tiny yellow spots navigating across a dark ocean under a dark sky. You cannot make out the figures on board. Hypnotized, you watch as they bob their way out of the harbor. Their lanterns move farther and farther away as you hear the odd chanting slowly fade with the wind. You stand in the cold until the final boat is out of sight and it's pitch black again. There's nothing to do now. You head home, the weird chant still in your head. No one spoke of the fishermen after they sailed off. Grieving mothers would not let their children anywhere near the cursed beach. Over time, people forgot the last time they saw a boat out on the waves. There ends the sorrowful saga of the Moonlight Sailors. The old god stars. Blood Moon. Meh. Another day begins. Might as well take the XP. Use the book. It's blinking at us excessively. Isn't it beautiful? It's just a little misshapen. Just a little. So what else we got? Teacher. Let's do the mermaids now. The janitor was obsessed with mermaids. He collected every scrap of the legend about them in the school basement. Now his mind has snapped. He's decided it's time to make one of his own, using unfortunate students' bodies as materials. There's one thing everyone at the school is talking about. Another girl from your area has gone missing. Could there be anything connecting all these missing people? Should investigate downtown next. Investigate the seaside twice. Well, let's get that out of the way. It's a bad time to be out of cash. It is indeed, says the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company, fortunately, specializes in cases like yours and will gladly help you get back on track after all. Everyone has something to sell. Sell a bit of a memory. Everything suddenly gets dark. You feel sad, but can't even tell why. In your pocket you find an envelope of cash. Okay. Not exactly a seaside encounter, but that's great. Oh, Walking on the beach you spot a weirdly colored rock. It seems to be covered in some kind of black algae. Getting closer, you realize it's not a rock. It's a sponge. Such a big difference. But a nope out. You may be going crazy, but you swear something is watching you from the sea. Under the sea. Something's wrong. You don't see anyone in the street. You could have sworn it was crowded just a minute ago. You better hurry out of here. Asking around the neighborhood got you some results. It seems that all the girls attend the same school. Well, find an old trophy case. Aww, and now I don't have a tiny key. It's all wrong. The thing inside is covered in a thick layer of dust. One medal seems particularly valuable. Just read the plaques. Oh, come on. You find that's a luck check. Okay, that's not too bad. You find a small trophy with a curious plaque. Grand Champion of the Cannibal Eating Contest, 1956. Sure. Was a very different school back then. All the missing girls are apparently members of the school swimming team. Maybe someone saw the kidnappers stalking them. Maybe. The trail growing cold, it might be time for a different approach. Could a similar case have occurred in the past? A trip to the library might be worth it. Sure. Near closing time, you stumble upon a curious article on the last page of the local newspaper. You copy the author's name, along with the address, before getting ready to leave. What are we gonna learn now? Arcane grass. Outdoorsman again? Yeah, sure. Double luck. I don't need to take these as much now that I have the run. We're not supposed to rest. Additional knowledge, maybe? I don't know. Sure. Double luck. Find a notebook containing handwritten and detailed notes about the swimming club itself. And mermaids? Investigate the morbid school. As opposed to the normal school. A nauseating stench stops you. Someone has scattered rotting fish guts everywhere and hung up countless fish heads. You cover up your mouth as you slowly retreat. A vast flock of seagulls outside viciously attack the windows. Very committed to his love for mermaids. Whoever the kidnapper may be, they seem to be really obsessed about mermaids. Inside the science lab, you find a plan of the town's sewer system. Someone has marked a path leading from the sea directly to the school building. Investigate. Experts are baffled by the sudden appearance of 20 stone statues lined up in a row in the middle of park. Come past what spell for paying anything. I'd like to mind drain. Something wrong here. A weird apathy seems to infect every adult you ask for help. You will have to deal with it somehow, alone. Just go to the restaurant. Have something to eat. The investigation is starting to take a toll on your health. But to fall asleep standing up, how do you address your weakened state? That's probably doom. And some money. That's a strength check. Sure, let's break our neck in a running accident. Half asleep, you stumble over the pavement, trip. Yeah. That's fine. You compare the sewer plan with a school map and suddenly it dawns on you. School basement? That realization. That must be the place the kidnappers keeping the missing swimmers. You catch a glimpse of an art class. One disturbing painting draws your attention. Take a peek. You gasp in pure horror. The twisted faces, the impossible angles, the enormous monoliths make you sick. There's no turning back now. God, let's hope she is alright. Investigate the morbid school. You bust through the door to the janitorial closet, but it's already too late. The latest missing girl is lying on a dirty mattress, up a torso at least. The tail of a fish has been crudely sewn in place of her legs. She was too weak and died. You hear the mad janitor. He looks up and you're up and down. Maybe you'll do. Not giving up of the previous failure, the obsessed janitor has found another body to experiment on. Ew. Force manhole open. He raises his axe. You try to open a manhole using a crowbar. It's a monkey wrench. To your horror, a scaly hand reaches from the opening manhole and pulls the screaming janitor inside. Silence. After a few seconds that feel like an eternity, a grotesque half-human, half-fish thing slowly emerges. It takes a long look at the mutilated corpse and sighs. He had a good idea about the top halves, but the fish should be on top. Police officers find you a few hours later. No trace of the mad janitors found, but you will sleep a little better tonight, knowing that the other students are safe. We did it. Kinda. Local scientists are baffled. An unprecedented aurora-like event has bathed the entire town in unnatural green glow. Spells are more expensive. Not too enticing. It's pretty bad. Let's take a cold shower. Pharmaturgy teacher. Alright, what else can we do? 2B used to be one of the most outstanding classes in the school, at least before the teacher's disappearance. Her placement glides through the school, entrancing all around her with her soft voice and calming, emotionless eyes. Now she stands at the front of the class, scribbling occult symbols in chalk and hissing lessons about the old gods. The children no longer play, but sit in their seats until dark, chanting along, learning of their eldritch masters and preparing to serve them. Following a rumor, you visit the house of a schoolgirl who acted strange in class. The girl's parents sit crying in the living room, fearfully point you upstairs. I don't know if I did that last time. A woman jumps out of her apartment, covered in gore. Between sobs, she tries to explain what happened. She was taking a shower, and suddenly the shower had started spraying blood. Trail of blood leads to the dark apartment. Check out the bathroom. You don't enter the bathroom. Instead, you go straight to the building's boiler room. One pipe coming from the ground. Looks like it was welded to the central system recently. Where does it lead? She sits in her bedroom in a blood-stained uniform, a dead rat lying in her hands. Asked why she killed it, she just grins. Ah, children these days. So desensitized. You were planning out your next steps. It got you thinking about everything that needs to be done, and then everything that could happen, and everything awful, and every awful thing that already happened, and now you can't. All you can think about is just how scary and horrible everything is. Oh. Just cry it out. You shuffle off somewhere you won't be noticed and let the tears gush out. Eventually, you shakily get to your feet. You still don't feel too great, but for now, at least it's out of your system. Free reason. Nice. Another lead. The former teacher of the class may prove more useful. Knocking on their door, however, gets you no answer. Just subtle chittering behind the door. So let's go downtown for a bit. Maybe they'll feel better later. Hearing footsteps, you turn around. Behind you stands a pretty woman in a sweater. Natural beauty. Yes. That is exactly what I need. Shudder seeing the weird woman reaching into her pockets and producing a nasty-looking knife. Pretty face. Mind if I borrow it? Aspiring model. Run! Another lead. The former teacher of the class. Oh yes. Blah, blah, blah. Of course that's still the same. You try to avoid mirrors, afraid of what could be waiting for you on the other side. Whoa. Climbing a tree, you get a better view of the class. Weird schematics of some portal drawn on the blackboard could help you in the future. Now let's knock on the door again. Oh. Can see a dog chewing on something in the distance. Is that a human bone? Boop. Pawn. Can't run. Oh no. Throw a stick. Oh, that's gonna be pain. Gonna mind drain the dog. Because there's nothing else he can do. Guess I could throw the wrench at him. I don't need that anyway. Bonk! I did a lot of damage. Should have thrown that earlier. A little boy from the school has been attacked by his classmates. A pale woman wearing a nurse outfit stops you. Today we are running a blood drive to help those in need. You look healthy. Would you like to be so kind and help the community? Have a lot of luck, so... Feel like they took more blood than they should. You feel weak but fulfilled, knowing you are helping. Find him in the hospital covered in bites. Just what is this whole summoning that he speaks of between his sobs? Well, what could it be? Stumble upon a nurse trying to open the door to the intensive care unit, constantly mumbling something. When she turns around, her face makes you scream in horror. Oh, could be worse. Like, bye. If no other ideas, you decide to wait outside the school itself. Might as well. That's the gym, though. Everything slows to a crawl. Ah. A faint chanting doesn't stop and no one enters or leaves the building. The pool is empty at this hour. It's dark, but you could swear something suddenly moved on the surface of the waters. Check out the lockers. 2 funds! Someone left their wallet. Yoink. You hear a scream coming from the school. It's time to enter. You sneak in through the windows and skulk across the shadowy corridors. All the classrooms have emptied out. Peering into one, you spot the corpse of a teacher nailed to the chalkboard. Shaking, you approach it. Spot an odd bulge protruding from his stomach. It writhes against your fingers as you probe it. Suddenly the teacher's chest rips apart, showering the classroom with gore. From within, a child coated in meat and intestines leaps out, screeching with joy. Probably can't run from this. Oh, you can. Sure. As you hear the gym hall, the chanting and rhythmic drums grows louder, threatening to intoxicate you. You creak the door open and stifle a scream. The entire school is gathered around a huge portal surrounded by black candles. From within, the bellowing of the beast being summoned echoes. The teacher stands at the front, covered in a purple robe, her true form revealed. Whoa. Gonna attack the teacher. Can't nope out of it. Just whoomp whoomp. 10 damage. Whoomp whoomp. Whoomp whoomp. Whoomp. With a dying scream, the teacher throws herself into the portal. The vicious master shows no mercy. You devour before the connection shuts. The confused children lie on the ground crying. Thanks to you, however, they are safe. It's something. School curfew. And that's just sensible at this point. After all that happened at the school. Ghost connection. Could have used that earlier. Self-therapy. Second sight. Yeah. Might as well get one. Ghost connection. The present. It looks a bit like a clown. Or plush animal pig or something. It's weird. Let's take a bath. Some more experience because, well, 16's our new max for a reason. Still kinda high. He's doing fine on the counter as well, so. Well, let's have a look at how to deal with jellyfish. Might as well. The mysterious myth of Medusa metamorphoses. Aaron is talking about his weird giant jellyfish ambushing swimmers. Even the local biology teacher can't identify the species as more and more people end up hurt badly. You remember from reading an article that a famous marine biologist is spending his vacation in the city. Maybe you could seek help from him. The famous biologist is spending his vacation at the seaside mansion. You need to take a bus there. I did that last time, so I want to see what's apparent different. Seeing the two chopped off heads, you can't help but wonder who's been preparing the food for the past week. Just have a look at the notes. The notes lying nearby tell of ancient civilizations and unspeakable horror. You managed to learn an incantation, but the horrifying image will stay with you a long time. Yeah, not like we have any friends. Can't sacrifice anybody we don't know one. Oh, can't back. The town's docks are a mix of modern warehouses, small shops and bars where the alternative crowd gathers. An ancient wooden temple occupies the small hill in the town's center. Do we know somebody? No. Not only did you fail to recruit anyone to help you, but when you leave the bar you're almost certain someone is following you. Finally you arrive at the seaside. The water is unnaturally cold and unwelcoming. Wait a minute. You shouldn't be able to see the lighthouse from this side of the bay. Perfectly normal. The waves lazily wash upon the shore. You take a deep breath. Fresh sea air clears your mind. Some of the mansions are abandoned and the road leading to them are overgrown. You have to, somehow, find a biologist's vacation home. It's been all over me today. The Venetian Society. That pair has been following you since morning. Finally managed to lose them, but can't shake the feeling that it will only get worse. Finally entered the right place. Inside there are many jars of various jellyfish species. But where is the biology himself? Where is the biology? Where's the biology in all of that? And doom! Investigation starting to take a toll on you. Inside a dusty study, you find a map of a cliffside. One point clearly marked. Is that the biologist is performing his studies? You enter the art workshop. The room is cluttered with half-finished sculptures and bizarre masks hanging on the walls. One sculpture strikes you as eerily realistic. I'll take a mask, please. A stalker's mask. Mask. Sure. Hide our true feelings. That looks actually kind of scary on her. Standing on the beach, you realize something. The map's coastline doesn't match the actual thing. Why is that? Why is that? It's the tide. Decide to enter a small shady bar in the docks. Maybe some of the old fishermen can help you in your quest. However, persuading them to do so might prove difficult. You have a lot of money, so just buy him a beer. No fisherman would refuse a free round. They tell you tales of sunken cities inhabited by underwater things with too many legs. It's just a crab. The tides. The rise and fall of the sea level changes the coastline. You should wait. The low tide reveals a semi-sunken cave which corresponds with the point marked on the map. Reluctantly, you enter into the unknown. The low tide reveals the semi-sunken cave. Is this the place where the biologist is running their experiment? Whatever you decide to do, you should hurry. When the high tide comes, the whole cave will be submerged underwater, potentially trapping you here. You explore the cave, trying not to slip and fall into the cold water, hearing some weird noises from behind the corner. You brace yourself. A humanoid creature seems to have no skin. Its black blood courses through yellow veins, and its pale sinew and powerful muscles are visible. It screams and lunges at you. Waves violently crash into the rocks as the gory horror begins to circle you. 32, you say. Well, that's... that's a lot of reason. That's a lot of reason lost. Well... Mind drain. Nothing else we can do about it. We shall emerge victorious. At what cost? Like, whose mind are we even draining at this point? Should I say we're probably getting addicted to it? The mind drain. It's only after the meat horror falls to the ground dead that you notice a bag further down the cave. Inside you find a bunch of neatly folded clothes and a journal. It belongs to the famous marine biologist you were looking for. The last entry dates back to when the jellyfish attacks started. The ancient tablet is found, and exploring the caves near Shiokawa has, for the lack of a better word, cursed me. I can't explain this, but every other night my skin slips off my body and has its mind of its own. It always returns to me in the morning. I just have to wait in the cave where the tablet was. What is happening to me? What will happen to the giant skin jellyfish without its host body? You have no idea, and hopefully you will never learn the answer yourself. Jellyfish is out there. I learned something new. Again, a follower. It's gonna cost like 5 reason. Sure. Asato. Gain 2 spells. It looks at you, waiting. Yeah, leave. Oh, yeah. Flesh regrow. Not the best trade in the world at this point. Roads closed, that's fine. Just a little crazy. Going a little bit loopy. Folklore studies. Folklore studies, why not? Take a little bit of extra reason. I'm back to max, eh? Let's now have a bottle of blood. Well, time for the lighthouse. Enter the lighthouse. Open the padlocks and enter. Finally made it inside the cursed lighthouse. Again. Your gut is telling you two things, that whoever or whatever is behind the weird events must be on the highest floor of this place, and that you should run away from this place as far and fast as you can. You're afraid there won't be any way back once you start climbing. Well, off we go. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped by... Wait a minute. Someone's been taking photos focused on you. And the enemies you fought with. Oh. What a list. Was it a ghoul? I think it was the ghoul. Nope, wasn't the ghoul. Your head starts to hurt. Is everything just something you've imagined? Photo disappears. Then the ghoul was the first one? Following the winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. It's locked, but you notice an electrical cable. It seems to connect the door to a hole inside the central pillar. There's a switch inside. You'll have to risk getting cut by numerous glass shards and knives. You manage to locate the door switch while avoiding the knives and glass shards. With a buzz, the gate opens. It's cool. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped by a metal gate. The tiny page nailed to the gate explains that opening the gate will require you to grab 2 metal rods, using your body as a conductor. Power the gate. We are smart enough. You are about to grab the rods when you notice the dials and buttons. You toy with them for a bit before adjusting both voltage and currents, so it's safe for you to grab them. With a buzz, the gate opens. You are stopped by a girl wearing dirty black school uniform. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further, she says, reaching into her bag. It's too late anyway. You instinctively take a step back as you notice a knife in her hand. You have to think fast. Not enough charisma. You try to talk her into allowing you to pass, but suddenly she raises the knife and slices right across her own throat, nearly decapitating herself. You step over her body. Climb up the winding staircase, you're stopped by a masked man wearing an expensive suit. The rules have changed, kiddo. Takashi-san. Can't run from this encounter, oh no. Oh, mind drain. Yep, he has a mind to drain from. It's a very unfortunate amount of HP he has. There he goes. Hey. The dark clouds swirl around the lighthouse. Did you arrive too late? No, smash the mirror. Hey, first try. As the unnatural fog slowly lifts, you are relieved and collapse to the floor. Douche. Next day, everything feels like a bad dream. 2 new achievements. Let's see, chosen challenge, ghastly presence. Pacifist run. Well, probably not as pacifist. If you mind drain. True Munch. The History Club. That's 1. Where is the ghosty? Where is it? Pax, no. I feel so blind right now. The dog treats. That's the touch. Glass eye, yes, yes. Actually blind. That's the game wins. Burned out of school. It's the monkey wrench one. Oh, there it is. Insomnia. Sure. Clay, it's gonna be worth it, right? Now... let's go for a... I want to visit the history club a bunch of times. So might just do a normal playthrough. Randomize for bad luck. Stuff still happening in Shiokawa. So either randomize or take someone I haven't played in ages. It took so long to get that win with Haru. She's kind of funny. So do like Mimi. Mimi. Go for the random backstory. Can only be horrible. Also need to do an endless scenario mode. But not now. Maybe something for next week, just see how that goes. Random old god. Yes. No, come on. Game. Oh. Oh, that's really, it's just no. Yeah, Toto. When in doubt, destroy Alexandria. The supposed cause of destruction of the Library of Alexandria. A perfect black marble statue has been recently discovered and is currently waiting in the Museum of for its long-awaited premiere. Extra damage. Wait, great. The medical history one. We're a little bit obsessed. So not too terribly good at mind draining. We do have a scalpel. So. But I do this for a change. History club. But I dislike that I always have to select the legal get then manually. Library notes. Don't mind if I do. So, what you got? The Vigil again. The Arms again. Coma. Fear Festival. Frightening Flood. I should already have the achievement for defeating the Dream, the Dream Devourers, but the game just kinda scanned me on that one. So might as well. Curious case of a contagious coma. More and more people fall unconscious and cannot be awakened. People try to wake the patients up, only end up falling into a coma themselves. A whole wing of the town's hospital has been dedicated to warding the comatose. Is there anything connecting these people? And how did the strange illness start? How did it start? History Club. Why would this popular student join the weird club? The history of this region is just fascinating. Why don't you discover it for yourself? Ritual robe. Brain worms. One time use only. 2 stamina. This spell costs 2 reasons. First aid perk. 10% doom. Oh yeah, those are expensive. Delve too deep. I like me my ritual robe. Wanna look fancy. What else you got? A cursed doll. No, it's not the flesh rabbit. It's just a. Yeah, give me the brain worms. More brain worms, you say? Oh, I also like the mask. She looks trustworthy. What else you got? Anatomy class. Sure. Hey. Then you enter the room, someone hits you in the head. When you wake up, you realize you're on the floor naked. Sitting on top of you is the History Club's president. Not accepting new members now. Raising a ritual dagger. But you will help us, one way or another. Hey. Stabbed to death. New ending achieved. Unlock something else? Sure did. No, that's the club. A bit distracted by the cat right now. What are you doing? What? Getting meowed at now. It's something important apparently, but it's not important enough to share. Or she wants to take me to show me. Well, let's try again. Shiokawa. Ah yes, new character. Ex-cultist. Toshiaki Wakamatsu. When Toshiaki discovered the club's sinister intentions, he flew into action, stealing the most prized possession. This cursed book will either save or doom our entire world. Okay. Starts with the Necronomicon. Interesting. Hunted by the Cult kind of just makes sense for him, but... Class of 19XX. Yeah, just a normal... probably don't want the one that turns, what's it, into Doom. Can't really go wrong with Zektos. I don't think. Continue. A big meteorite fell down on a field in the village near Shiokawa. Yes. Stuff's melting. The Necronomicon. Powerful spells and horrible secrets. You activate its power, retrieve more pages when you level up. Completing a mystery lowers doom by 10%. Ooh. Ooh. No, ooh. Color me intrigued. Cold Shop. Yeah, we're not gonna take that one. Not at this time. Firm continue. Nothing in the mailbox. What's your outfit like? Very limited. Sure. An empty bottle. A plant. Nope, no, I need to not forget my free 5 experience. Yes, morbid events. The sailors again, the painting, Fear Festival, Household Hell. Ooh, I do kind of want this. In ally though, also our stats are. Yikes. Of course I could just recruit someone from the whatchamacallit, from the illegal den. Pay some doom, sacrifice a follower. So we need a flashlight, and I need the ritual dagger, if I'm not mistaken. Well, let's find out. There are many old mansions around this town. Manor is one of them, supposedly haunted by a family of 4 who disappeared without a trace one summer. But is it the only tragic event that took place there? Friends you've talked with are not sure where the mansion itself is located. You have to find the mansion first. A trip to the library may shed some light. Yeah. So, what do I want to buy first? Wanna go shopping? That's not the right ones. A glass eye though. Oh. Just smash it into your face. Gonna need a third eye spell. That's also... do kinda want to do that. Sure. Do have the library. Come on, just do it. Be brave. He did just smash that into our face. Study some spell tomes. Seal of Savesh. Full reason for his strength. What could possibly go wrong? Third eye! Hey. Cast it. We don't need eyes. Achievement unlock. Feel your inner eye open. Almost a shame that there is nothing on his forehead now. We did it. At least we achieved something already. Might as well make some notes. Whilst I'm here. So. Seal of Savesh. Yeah, why not? Cast it. 4 strength. Woo! We're improving. Not really in a meaningful way, but we're growing drunk with power. Faint sound while walking. Ugh. It's that time of the day again. Ability to read gets lost. You hear faint sound while walking outside the biology classroom. Inside is an old anatomy model. Its heart is beating. The sight almost makes you sick. Throw up in a corner. Now, about the flashlight. That's a flare gun. What else you got? Oh. What else you got? Oh, there. So, what? Power of the flashlight compels you? Take a step towards the perfect form, -1. Yeah, that seems to be going up. Curious? Stop! This is a crime scene! Halted by an inspected police officer. Behind him, 2 other policemen are packing something into black bags. What happened? Luck check success. Managed to catch a glimpse of an officer. He holds a glowing rock in his hand before packing it inside a bag. Could it be a meteorite in the TV reporter talked about? Well, I am clearly making my way towards the perfect form. Huh. So we do still need an ally. What you got? Damage to ghost enemies. Yeah, sure. Come along. A casual hunter perception. Investigate again. All a barking sound, you find yourself on a beach surrounded by rocks. Game's like, nah. It's just 2 damage. We're just gonna nope out of there. You've learned a cliff. The mansion was built and is famous for its extensive cave system. You decide to rent some books that seem helpful. Shiokava Herald A. Is that the one with the hurts? 444. An article covers a group of scientists from Tokyo. They were exploring and mapping weird cave formations found in the cliffs. The search of the missing team of scientists continues. The only clue so far is a code written on a cabin wall. 444 hertz. And then there's the architect's journal. Yep. Cave tunnels. Cave tunnels, you say? So the bottle. Now to ruin it all by asking a dead witch for money. The Innsmouth looker! The ocean is calling. Oh, it's fine. I have gills. It's just the next step in evolution. Yeah, want a dagger. Now we should have everything. Probably overprepared. Some are gonna be wrong anyways. Investigate downtown. Now you just need to find the manor. Dark forces scheme against you. Well, what do we get? Fearful. Reason to start each enemy encounter. Should be fine. How can he be fearful of these stats? Can't shake the feeling that those small dock buildings hide some terrible secrets. Make it through the window. It is the abandoned mansion your friends have talked about. Let's explore it. Find a heavy tome wrapped in moth-eaten black velvet in an old locked cabinet. You move the book's wrappings, you recoil in disgust. It's bound in human flesh. Take it. Oh, fatal flora. An injury, you say? Oh, that's my eye. Abdominal cut. What did you do? Well, now we need to find the basement. Following a suspicious person, you enter the old rundown mansion room. It stinks like spoiled milk and has only 2 doors. We found a flashlight. Oh, that's kind of funny. Pawn it. Looks like one of the previous owners of this mansion liked to read. Dusty tomes. Reach to the ceiling. You don't have much time, but maybe you could spare a minute to look through the books? Sure. The notes lying on the table look like the ramblings of a madman, but you can see a method to their madness. Keep looking for a key. The round window of the crooked manor tower is calling you. Sure. Get lost in the light. The blind light is growing larger and larger. To your shock, you can't feel the ground under your feet. Hey, it's somewhere else. The bleeding desert. A parasitic star is looming over the dying civilization. Is this the fate of your planet as well? Which one? Sure, dig through the sand. Digging beneath the stone pillar, you unearth a chest. Inside, you find a rotten human head. It's coming from the locked study. You must find a key. In the middle of a room, you see a man tied to a chair. You rush to his help. When you move his gag, though, the man starts shouting curses and ancient prophecies. You fall to the floor, your mind flooded with unspeakable images, as the man slowly stands up, completely ignoring the chair he was seemingly tied to. The chair is an illusion. 50% hit chance. A beautiful, evidently visual bug. Then again, 10 time units, you say? 10 time units. Oh, maybe it's not as visual as I made it out to be. Yeah. Curious statuette. Extra knowledge. Just put that away for now. There's a local legend about a heartbroken seamstress. One stormy night, she broke into the local inn and stitched the unsuspecting guests together. A final gruesome artwork. But that's just a legend, right? Moo. So the cupboard you find a sewing kit. That's the tree. Oh, use gain stamina. Got a wound. Sell it. Not only are they affected by the mysterious effects of sick task, people have started herding together like livestock, banning their previous inhibitions. Sure. Plus 3 charisma, minus 1 stamina. Okay. You'll feel watched. Sure, I'll leave. Oh, it's fine. Am I going to go? Oh, come on. I'm gonna be able to sensibly hit this thing. Well, I guess I could. Prep attack, prep attack, prep attack. Kinda did it. Yep. Last spot in the manor. Make your way down. Explore the... Following the strange song, you discover a hidden passageway that leads you to an underground chamber connected to the sea. You can't find the source of the sounds, but then it hits you. The acoustics of this place make the waves sound like the most beautiful serenade. Mesmerized, you step closer to the stone altar at the end of the room. Explore some more. You follow a winding corridor until you stumble upon something really strange. Someone has set up a series of vintage-looking speakers, all connected to a single unit. The speakers must be the source of the sounds. You see the knob, allowing you to change the frequency. 444. There we are. Boop. Just to be safe. No, that's the wrong one, but well. The acoustics of the underground cave make the waves and the machine tone create a ghastly melody, shaking you to the bone. As you move closer to the stone altar, you scream in terror. You are not the only one charmed by the sounds. The cursed chants amplified by the cave system make you dizzy. To your horror, you notice the sound has awakened something else. Wataru. Now we have an ally. Let's also run. Do it! Do it now! A classy ritual. Made us go crazy, but who cares? The coiled body of a gargantuan beast disappears under the waves once again. Perhaps satisfied? You have little doubt about another family will try to move in the future and be lured by the beast. So you destroy the speakers and set fire to the whole mansion. Unholy chants coming from the caves. Unholy chants coming from the caves connected to the mansion must have driven the family insane. You, however, decide to take your fate into your own hands. Burning down the mansion will prevent any future family from moving in and discovering the terrible secret of the cave system. We did it. The old gut stars. School curfew. Got something in our mailbox. We need to clean up a bit. Decent stats. Sure. Door flash. Low doom by free. Cost 15 exp. Fine, I'll take it. And reason, clearly. It seems to have calmed down.
Major injury. I'm worried. Clearly that's a curse. Worrying too much. Nope. So now what? Achieve, at least managed to get another achievement. Something for the road, if you will. Former tertiary teacher. Fear Festival again. Could try to get a chainsaw going. Or quickly deal with the sailors. Yeah, let's quickly get the sailors out of the way. Yep, they are dragging something truly awful from the belly of the ocean. Arriving ooze. So for a week adoring it, until one moonlit night when a young girl spotted his boat drifting away. Now more and more fishermen have begun to find the vile ooze in their nets. One by one they are disappearing. They're all being a part of the Ooze Lovers Club. How much did that cost? Free reason. That's a bit steep at this point. Fortunate. Anyway. Yeah, just go ahead. Investigate. It's getting dark as you arrive at the cemetery, and shadows move in fantastic and unaccountable ways between the tombstones. Finding the right grave may prove to be a challenge, especially when you feel someone's gaze at your back. Run in terror. Continue looking. Just don't care. Quickly find a tombstone marked with red string. Under the stone you find a note someone left for you. Oh god. Although you braved the stench for hours, you glean nothing beside the fact that the fisherman had a wife. I know a game says you're going to the fish market, but the stench of the graveyard. Acute pain in multiple joints alone is a reason to seek medical help. Today, you've realized that you can bend your fingers both ways. More decks. You arrive at the fisherman's house. It stands long vacated. Peering in through the dusty window, you recoil in shock. The poor woman got. Corpses are strung up on wires, like macabre marionettes with painted smiles and rosy cheeks. So, and that's the point where we head back home and have a nap. Just a quick snooze. Fisherman's wife lies in the kitchen, mutilated and covered with black marks. He got oozed. The whole building begins to shake as you enter the room. Suddenly the stone pillar bursts through the floor where it stood just a second ago. Noticing the arcane symbols painted on the stone, you take a step closer. Study the symbols. You recognize some of the symbols from a stone tablet you saw at a museum. What's the connection? The next. Surely someone else must have caught one of these. You lurk around, trying to spot one of them. Well, let's have a look. The town's dock are a mix of modern warehouses, small shops and bars where the alternative crowds gather. An ancient wood temple occupies a small hill at the town center. Well, let's pray at the temple. Let's do something different. It doesn't matter if you believe or not, the smell of burning incense and old wood calms you down. Games like +2 reason. Yeah, it only applied 1? Is there a hidden comma It's messing up the values. The young man has glassy eyes and mumbles his replies as he caresses his catch. The beating movements of his arms disturb you. Undulating. Summoning ritual must be stopped at all costs. Mr. Pachinko and Mr. Coin. Deal a whole 6 damage. Shank, 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 shank. Almost. Shank. I did it. Found painkillers. Addictive medicine. Don't overdose. Be careful not to overdose on these. This feels like a roll of dice. Yeah. Something pulls you towards the beach. A statuette, half buried in the sand, is calling you. Feeling your hands shaking, you take a step closer. Oh, I want it. The statuette is surprisingly heavier than it looks. Mesmerized, you take it home and wonder where you'll display it. It's a bad idea. No, it'll be great. Slip out at night and race towards the beach. Terrified at what comes next. The full moon shines bright in the cloudless night sky. The ink-black ocean waves glimmer eerily. All the residents have drawn their shutters tight and locked their doors. Your footsteps are silent in the sand. The only audible sounds are your ragged breathing and pounding heartbeat. You arrive at the water's edge, breathless. The possessed fishermen's boats fill the horizon with their light. Tiny yellow spots navigating across a dark ocean under a dark sky. Cannot make out the figures on board. Hypnotized, you watch as they bob their way out of the harbor. The lanterns move farther and farther away, and you hear the odd chanting slowly fade with the wind. You stand in the cold until the final boat is out of sight, and it is pitch black again. There's nothing to do now. You head home, the weird chant still in your head. That's a lot of doom gone now, thanks to the Necronomicon. No one spoke with the fishermen after they sailed off. Grieving mothers would not let their children anywhere near the cursed beach. Over time, people forgot the last time they saw a boat out on the waves. Continue. Freaky flood. Can get drenched at the seaside. Another tiny key. Some extra reason. Isn't he precious? Oh, such a good boy. Good boy. Good foof. So, the painting, the Fear Festival. Probably should just get the Fear Festival out of the way. Not quite. Yeah, sure. The far-out fable of a fear festival. Your aunt has sent you a letter, inviting you to a curious-sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree you need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen? You ask yourself as you board the bus. A lot of fear festivals today. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. A small village and nearby fields are surrounded by thick forest. Is there somebody waiting? A fat man is wearing dusty overalls approaches you. It is the inn owner, who promised to pick you up. Following close behind him, your eyes are drawn to his hands, which are so deformed they resemble claws more than hands. Bit cut off. lounge a bit. Go to the festival, look for a friend. Stumble into your friend Hiroyuki Mizutani. Hey, I'm trying to solve a puzzle. Can you help? Sure. What do you do? Gains 1 stamina. Okay. Mysterious janitor. Did you hear that? Ah, never mind. Lightning. Let's look around the festival. Enjoy the festival. Or buy souvenirs. Yeah, buy souvenirs. Extra doggo. No booping of the nose of this doggo. I'm not gonna need it if I buy it, sure. Oh, we have a map. Equip it. A ritual dagger, a flashlight, a map, and just about 1,200 in each set. We could be fine. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed when suddenly the moon comes from behind thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind a tree. What was that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Should you follow them into the forest or try to find more information about the festival? What to do? What to do? We're clearly gonna lounge. We're here to de-stress after all. Sure, have a look at the forest. Parasitic organism burrows under the bark. No steak knife. Once again. All nearby trees are connected on the ground. The main branch leads east. You make a mental note to avoid the region. Well, that's no good. I'm gonna be heading east soon. The Rage of Ragzul. Cost 6 doom. 1 extra damage. Don't really have much in that sense. I'll take Outdoorsman instead for now. Just walk around the forest. Go for a leisurely stroll. You have a feeling that you're being watched, and when you hear a branch snapping, you quickly turn around. There's someone standing in the trees. Confront him. Oh. It's just a corpse standing in the woods. It's fine, it's not an ambush. Going back to the inn, you overhear 2 masked villagers. They are talking about something awakening the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. It's not safe here. Decide to block the entrance of your room with a nightstand. Festival's ending tomorrow and you can't be too careful. Sure. Back to the woods. Discover an old campsite located at the edge of a small clearing. The tent has been knocked down and the food and utensils have been scattered everywhere. Clues! Footprints and tracks suggest a fight. The owner of the tent must have been dragged by 2 unknown attackers into the woods. Thicket. That fateful night, you only managed to steal the Necronomicon itself. While extremely dangerous on its own, the other titles threaten the safety of the city too. What other book do you regret not taking with you the most? Notebook full of contact information, a tome of dangerous spells, a ring binder with details about your life. Oh. How... Huh. Sure, it's all about me. Yes, that ring binder definitely contained too much information about you. You're afraid that the cult will use it to torment you and your family. Need experience for true reason. Where is everyone? Is that blood? Could be black sludge. A trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads you to the outskirts of the village. Where in the dark forest there's an answer waiting for you. Well, we'll see if we find the factory. We follow the faint sound of a telephone light pole. The moment you notice giant hairy balls underneath it, they start to twitch and rise. The rising of the hairy balls. Should be able to just smush them. Hairy balls and we find the factory. While exploring the factory, you're caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. After tying you up, they'll bring you to the cult leader. We knew you'd come. It's your aunt's voice coming from behind the priest's weird mask. She signals towards the door behind her. What? Our master's waiting for the final blood sacrifice. It is bloody. It is. Whoa. Tis a monster. It is a policeman. With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing their shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out is the beams of flashlights and a hand of police officers saving you from falling. Later that day, detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual, blood and eldritch being. The village is abandoned, with no trace of blood anywhere. You are the only one seeing the ancient horror. Ending A. You have solved the mystery. While you didn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate them, the people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual in time. Contaminated water. And there goes the between mystery rest. Oh well. Would have been nice. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The painting or the teacher? Probably the teacher. And finish off on the painting and then... Yeah, let's do it. 2B used to be one of the most outstanding classes in the school, at least before the teacher disappeared. Her policeman glides through the school, trancing all those around her with a soft voice and calming, emotionless eyes. Now she stands at the front of the class, scribbling down occult symbols and chalk and hissing lessons about the old gods. The children no longer play, but sit in their seats until dark, chanting along, learning of their eldritch masters and preparing to serve them. Following a rumor, you visit the house of a schoolgirl who acted really strange in class. The girl's parents sit crying in the living room and fearfully point you upstairs. Sure. I have my janitor by my side. Doom for money? I think doom for money. It's a bad time to be out of cash, says the grim-looking man. Your company... probably should take blood. Our company, fortunately, specializes in cases like yours and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, everyone has something to sell. Seen a lot of him today. She sits in her bedroom in a blood-stained uniform, a dead rat lying in her hands. Asked why she killed it, she just grins. Sure. Oh, little girl. Loud knocking wakes you up in the middle of the night. Open up, shouts the deep voice from behind the door. I know where you are. I know you're there. Get closer and freeze. Before you can answer, the door's letterbox suddenly opens and an unknown invader tries to look inside. Luckily, you manage to stand still. After a couple of minutes, the man retreats, probably unsure if you're home after all. Yeah. Another lead. The former teacher of the class may prove more useful. Knocking on their door, however, gets you no answer. Look around downtown. Down the street. Through the dirty restaurant window, you notice a shady-looking man wearing a jacket covered in strange symbols. He stops in front of a house, visibly nervous. Before he enters the house, he turns around as if he's checking for any unwanted followers. Just call the police. Get a fund. And I probably should try to get a different weapon, like the carpenter's hammer. Oh, yeah. Let's look out for the teacher. Unseasonal floods have closed many of the roads. Consult the map. After studying the map, you finally locate a safe path to use by the locals. Hey, it did something. It actually did something. Experts are baffled by the sudden appearance of 20 stone statues lined up in a row in the middle of a park. Cast one spell for free. Well, I don't mind if I do. I'll cast a spell. And now everything's going up again. Now it's going up by 2. Climbing a tree, you get better view of the class. Weird schematics of some portal drawn on the blackboard could help in the future. A little boy from the school has been attacked by his classmates. Poor guy. Walking through the hospital corridor, you are stopped by an older man with a cast on his leg. Could you help me down the stairs? Sure. It takes you some time, but a successful help the man and bring him a wheelchair. He thanks you and smiles. Somebody says to you, please help me down the stairs, and you bring him a wheelchair. That's an odd choice. Krutki's kill. Defeat the current enemy for 15 doom. Plus 1 damage for 6. Yeah, I get the kill one. And luck? Luck doesn't seem to be climbing. In the background, you find him in the hospital covered in bites. Just what is this whole summoning that he speaks of between the sobs? Yeah, what could it mean? Find yourself in an old, unused part of the hospital. Take a deep breath. The disgusting smell of thawed remains still lingers in the room. It used to be the hospital's mortuary, and doctors determined the causes of death. Look below the cloth. Praying is not what you think it is. You slowly pull off the cloth, revealing an old anatomy mannequin. It was probably used as an anatomy class aid. Breathe a sigh of relief. To know of ideas, you decide to wait outside the school. Investigate. Ritsuko-chan was the most promising athlete in her school. When she suddenly disappeared, the case was quickly closed without any suspects. Today, she has finally dug herself out. Only 17. Still just 6 damage. Well, take a hammer to her. Hammer her back into the ground. It's like, no you don't. The faint chanting doesn't stop, and no one enters or leaves the building. The trail growing cold, it might be time for a different approach. Could a similar case have occurred in the past? Sure, look around. Near closing time, you stumble upon a curious article on the last page of the local newspaper. You copy the author's name, along with the address, before getting ready to leave. You hear a scream coming from the school. It's time to enter. You sneak in through a window and skulk across the shadowy corridor. All the classrooms have emptied out. Peering into one, you spot the corpse of a teacher nailed to the chalkboard. Shaking, you approach. You spot an odd bulge protruding from his stomach. It writhes against your fingers as you probe it. Suddenly, the teacher's chest rips apart, showering the classroom with gore. From within, a child coated in meat and intestines leaps out, screeching with joy. It's another case. For a hammer. Bonk, 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 bonk. As you near the gym hall, the chanting and rhythmic drums grow louder, threatening to intoxicate you. You creak the door open and stifle a scream. The entire school is gathered around a huge portal surrounded by black candles. From within, the bellowing of the beast being summoned echoes. The teachers stand in front, covered in purple robe, her true form revealed. Just bonk her. Maybe if you defeat her, the horror will end. Womp womp. Womp womp. Womp. You defeated the Shiokawa School. With a dying scream, the teacher throws herself into the portal. Her vicious master shows no mercy. You hear it devour her before the connection shuts. The confused children lie on the ground crying. Thanks to you, however, they are safe. We did it. And we gotta level up. Store closed. They kidnapped the dog. That's just cruel. That's just cruel. Those fiends. I do like quick thinking. Sure. That's that line. Well, one more mystery to go. The painting. I still need to actually find two endings. A damp-looking letter addressed to you arrived this morning. Mami Aichiro, a famous painter you were once a huge fan of, has replied to a message you sent him last summer. He thanked you for the letter and invited you to his mansion. You are going to witness the creation of his true masterpiece, he wrote. Just how could you decline? Finally arrived at the mansion's gate. You're afraid you will never be able to remove the lingering musty smell of wetlands from your clothes. Now, where is everyone? We'll see. On my +1, I brought my janitor. In the mirror you catch a glimpse of something that shouldn't be there. You continue your search. While walking through the empty mansion, you can hear something rustling in the bushes behind the building. Sure. Let's find out about Amy. It said that a famous priest died on this rock. Tap into the power. Get a spell. Memory extract, you say. That's two reason for XPs. Crouching next to a moss-covered stone is a woman. Hello? Are you here for Ichiro-san's showcase from the newest painting? Ah, where are my manners? My name is Amy, and I'm currently working in the art gallery in Shiokawa. Amy smiles. Ichiro-san is somewhere in the mansion, I'm sure. I'd help you look for him, but I want to catalog these, she says, pointing at a rock. These ritualistic markings are unique to this region. I've been told. It's the painting studio. Can't really see anything, apparently. Barely make out shapes. We need to find to turn the lights on. Could stick together in this weird mansion. Games like yo. Sure. When you cut yourself accidentally, you discover your blood has turned colorless and glassy. You feel fine, but this can't be good. +3. How? It's gonna make much of a difference. The room layout in this place doesn't make any sense. Been trying to leave this mansion, but each door leads to the same musty hallway. You start to panic, trying to find a solution. Lock check success. You decide to follow the wall on your left. You touch it with your hand, you hear a click sound, and a hidden door appears in front of you. One reason. Oh, it's the Iga mention. There are countless paintings hung on the walls of this mansion. All of them show alien landscapes and weird humanoid dancing around in circles. You don't recognize any of these, but the technique used is unmistakable. Ichiro-san's painted these. Well, Amy's still here. Ah, you wake up with a semi-translucent membrane covering both of your eyes. Increasing terror, you realize that you no longer need your eyes to see. Oh, countless paintings. So she's now here. Suddenly, a wall in front of you withers and falls apart, revealing a hole-ridden monstrosity. Oh, it's gonna get a hidden. Unless we chance it. It's gonna get a hidden. Finally, you find a key in one of the desk drawers. You head towards the private rooms, hoping to find a painter yourself. Oh, that's not looking good for you, Amy. Investigation can wait. A hot bath is too important. Sure, take a bath. You bathe happily and continue with newfound strength. Oh, you instinctively grab Amy, who almost faints at the sight of the room you both enter. Every visible surface is covered in obscene paintings and grotesque monster faces. Hey, something new. Ichiro-san sits alone in front of an empty canvas. Ichiro-san smiles when he notices you two. Ah, my biggest fan and Miss Amy are both here. He stands up and comes closer, looking at you from behind his dark glasses. Would you please be kind and wait in the foyer? I need Miss Amy to help me with the latest painting. Amy looks at you surprised, but doesn't say anything. Yeah. Maybe we know what's happening. Got a nice mask? A demon mask, you say? It's a B slot. So many. Something doesn't feel right. Aww. You were startled when you discovered a headless body. You were horrified when you saw its head hanging in the middle of the room, laughing. An animated head. Well, time to get out the hammer. Bonk, 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 bonk. Wait, what's that? Black hair. When you re-enter the room, Amy is nowhere to be seen. Well, what could be the reason for that, huh? Ichiro-san smiles and thanks you for your patience. Before you can say anything, he steps aside, showing you his greatest work. At first. What? At first, you can't even tell what you're looking at. Ichiro-san smiles, get wider, and he finally hits you. My greatest work. My ultimate painting. It's impossible. How could he paint it so fast? And where's Amy? Details are so lifelike. Yeah, that has to be the painting. Ichiro-san covers the painting with a piece of cloth before handing it to you. I would like you, my greatest fan, to have this painting in memory of our meeting. In the silent scream of Amy having her head crushed by a monstrous beast will haunt you forever. But it's an offer you can't refuse. His greatest work done. Everything's more expensive now. The town hit depression after the dog was kidnapped. Where is the black hair, you say? Combine with sewing kit. Oh, I had a sewing kit, funnily enough. A lock of human hair. Well, back to the storage you go. We need that picture on the wall. Not gonna get it. We can't rest anymore, so might as well head to the lighthouse, eh? Memory extract still. Fearful. The ominous lighthouse has been closed down for longer than you can remember. Finally made it inside the cursed lighthouse. Your gut is telling you two things, that whoever or whatever is behind the weird events must be on the highest floor of this place, and that you should run away from this place as far and as fast as you can. Let's have a nap, because that's what we do. We have so much doom left. Start climbing. Oh yeah, our janitor is gonna help us. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped by... Wait a minute. Someone has been taking photos focused on you. The second enemy you fought this run. Yeah. Was it Otaro? Might have been. Nope. No, it wasn't. Climbing up the winding staircase, you're stopped by a masked man wearing an expensive suit. You again. It's hammer time. Just smushed him. Following the winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. A cable that could be powering is currently disconnected. The power box itself is covered in weird moist goo. Just inhaling the fumes make your eyes itch and water. Find the 40 plug. Continue climbing. And I should get that now. Knowledge is our weakest stat. Light away. More exp. He's the free-eyed Terminator. At this point. Grab the metal rods. Knowledge check passed. And there it is! Don't think we should smash such a container, but hey. We did it! As the unnatural fog slowly lifts, you are relieved and collapse on the floor. Once again, the world has been saved. And more achievements. So... that's the club member one. That's all the history ones. We don't need eyes. You got flag. New old one unlocked, which is just great. Dagger. Sacrifice your ally with a ritual dagger equipped. Tome of Rot. It's gonna be interesting. Also, tracksuit. Where is the next character achievement? That's all the backstories. That's all the achievement ones. Alright, 2 allies in one playthrough and win. Tainted Violin. that the new one? Shouldn't there be one for, when with the... that's Ayaka. Oh, it's just a playthroughs, is it? Oh well. Still the hard stuff. Oh yeah, there's Yashiro. Complete a true believer playthrough of Kafak Atorasu. Knight Errant. Handcuff the ultimate opportunist. Okay, Survivor and the 7th character, yeah. Anyhow. Nope. I might as well leave it on this place. So yeah. I think that's a good showcase. What a little bit of research can do for a game like this. Then again, it's also one of the reasons why I don't like researching games like these. Certain stuff just starts feeling too easy. Of course, as I said, when I did a couple of the achievements where you had to click something on the screen, that one's a bit awkward with the controller. You wouldn't really, I don't know, I wouldn't really get the idea to use the stick and search for, or go pixel hunting. That's much more a PC thing. Probably not as bad on something like the Switch if it has the touchscreen controls, which I wouldn't believe. I don't know, but anyway. All in all, it's been a successful couple of runs. I am curious if that is just if it's a bug having the stats tick up seemingly endlessly like that, whilst the effect of the third eye is active with that character or that old one. But well, I don't know. Looks like a bug to me. Funny one, and seeing how he almost went completely insane as we sacrificed the ally to Otaru. It's nice to have been able to take that one as a victory in the end, even if it feels a little bit illegitimate, all things considered. But hey. Sometimes you just need to run with the flow. So, it's gonna be my last stream for this year. Or this was, rather, my last stream for this year. Gonna have to deal with some real-life Call of Cthulhu tomorrow. Again, mixture of emotions, looking forward to that. And, well, of course, New Year's is New Year's. So I will be back regularly on Tuesday. Not quite sure of what just yet, but we will be back in Shiokava at least next Friday. Gonna keep it on schedule for a bit. I mean, there's loads to do, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have a stab at the endless mode next time. Now there's also the new old one you have to deal with. But yeah, that's gonna be next time. I mean, I have like 7 minutes left for today, so not gonna start anything, gonna call it instead. Aside from that, hope everyone's gonna have a a good New Year's Eve, a good start into 2024. And that the new year will be great and fruitful. Yeah. We'll see how things shake out. So, not going to drag this out much further. Thank you very much for watching, for hanging out, bobbing your head in, and I'll be back next Tuesday. So, bye-byes. And don't drink too much on New Year's.